Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right there.
I don't think I've ever said this before.
Guys, I don't know if you know or not. I hope you had a good weekend, but communism is back with the help of Democrats. This No Kings protest has helped communism create momentum again. They're out there. They're so happy. Their memberships are climbing. They are so grateful for the Democratic Party for being able to mix everybody together. It was, Antifa. You combine all of it together. They came and hung out. Shameless. It was awesome. It was great. I got to say, it was peaceful. There was not a lot of crazy things going on. A lot of people, they ask, why are you out here? They had no answers. Like, what do you believe in? Well, I don't want a monarchy. You don't live in a monarchy. Yeah, but why are you here? We're having such a good time. But why are you here? It's just such a good time. We're so joyful, so loving. But what do you believe in? I just don't want a monarchy. Tell me what you believe in. It's so bad that on CNN, Scott Jennings is on there talking to Dear Abby, and they're going back and forth.
Dear Abby.
And while they're talking and they're doing their things, eventually one of the ladies like, well, yeah, we did get the immigration thing wrong. Democrats already said it, but this is not about that, and this is not about this. Listen, you guys are screwing up. What do you believe in? What were you out there for? We're going to try to figure this out together collectively. I'm not telling you we have that kind of intelligence, but we're going to try to put our brains together and see if we can figure out what is going on, if it's King Trump. Apparently, he had a video that he posted that is going on. He dropped a bunch of chocolate ice cream on people. And some say it's not chocolate ice cream. Okay. Some say it was something else because it's like brown. Who knows what he's talking about? It could be coffee ice cream because coffee's got that color. I don't know if you've had it before or not.
Yep. Awesome.
But it's a very, very delicious ice cream. But some say. But we got a lot of stories to go through. We got a lot of stories to go through. Yesterday, Witkoff and Kushner
Kushner
was from
no.
Cushman is Jerry Maguire. Kush. This Kush. Hey,
Jerry Maguire.
My word is strong as oak.
Yeah, that's right. No, but Jared Kushner and Witkoff were sitting with Leslie Stahl from 60 Minutes, and it's actually a very good interview. I watched the first 20 minutes of it, 15 minutes and 39 seconds of it. There's a couple clips in there. One on how the president was upset with Netanyahu. You have to see that. And another one about a moment where Witkoff was speaking to one of the Hamas leaders, and they had a moment together. Vinny was sharing this with us this morning about the fact that they both lost a loss, and it was his son, and it was a very emotional moment. I think it's a clip we should watch together here. And then we got a bunch of other stories to get into. Trump non-committal to sending Tomahawks to Ukraine, a meeting with Zelensky. Trump, as usual, just sending some love messages to people. He had a warning for socialist dictator. He says, don't F around with the United States, and just got up and walked out, I think. Something happened there. Salesforce Mark Benioff. Now, after saying that Trump is doing the right thing, now he's coming back and saying he should send National Guard. He's apologizing. He shouldn't have said he should send National Guard to San Francisco. Bill Ackman says Curtis Lewa must drop out of New York City race, or Mamdani will be next mayor. I have some thoughts on that with the New York governor race mayor race that's taking place in the next couple of weeks. Elon Musk has turned his eye to the UK. We'll talk about that. Nick Fuentes goes on Spotify, does one podcast, becomes number one, then they take it down. Okay? Can you imagine that? Does one podcast, goes number one, and they took him down. And did they say why, Rob? Like, do we know why they took him down? Like, is there, when we read the stories, did they say for the following 3 reasons?
No, and from what I found yesterday, it may have been because somebody else, it wasn't Nick Fuentes who uploaded the episodes. It was somebody else that was a listener of his show that was uploading.
Well, then that makes sense. That makes sense that somebody else did it. And maybe, let's see if, because one thing about Spotify, they've never had the reputation of not, like what happened to YouTube that never happened at Spotify at those levels. They did remove some of Rogan's
I think
episodes.
They did remove some episodes.
But not to the level of, not letting him do his thing. Yeah. Who else we got here? Zelensky says Trump didn't say yes to Tomahawk missiles. And he's pitching Trump on Ukraine drone for Tomahawk missiles exchange as president weighs, because Ukraine's got some of the best drone attack, 500,000 of them that they did. Bessent, Chinese vice premier to meet to try to diffuse escalation of U.S. tariffs. Trump calls 157% China tariffs not sustainable ahead of planned Xi meeting in South Korea. And then Never Trumper George Conway wears a shirt that says, I am Antifa shirt at No Kings protest. He does look like he is taking some stuff to lose weight because he's split in half.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on Ozempic or not.
Might be.
By the way, it's great sponsorship if you do it.
Oh.
You know what I'm
Are
saying?
him and Kellyanne still together? Or
I don't
no?
think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
was
You don't remember their
inevitable.
daughter that recorded live when Kellyanne was doing that? That was tough. Mehdi Hassan calls marrying Trump a job immigrants will do, but Americans won't. What is that?
Marrying Trump, like an American won't marry Trump, only an immigrant will.
Really?
Only the
By the way, can
most
you imagine
beautiful
anybody
woman in the
else-
world will marry Trump.
Right, and can you imagine
Horrible.
anybody on the conservative side saying something the other way? I mean, you just
Unbelievable.
Like, how would you say it? What is the antonym of that from Michelle Obama?
if you would be saying it, go back the other way. Pick any liberal that's married somebody and say, oh, well, marrying you is the job of an immigrant. And they say, oh, you conservative, authoritarian racist. That's what they'd
Tom,
say.
I got 5 great jokes that I'm not going to say because I'm respectful.
Yep. Yeah.
Because when they go low, I go high, Tom. That's what I do.
that.
PBD,
Guy,
that's why you, as an immigrant, married a white woman. It's
There you
reverse
go.
DEI.
That was my way of getting in the room.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like, hey, I'm from Iran. She's white.
Yeah.
Can I get into the room?
She white.
Come on in since you married a white girl.
That's why I'm gonna marry
from
a black
Texas.
girl. I'm gonna get that street cred.
By the way, went to
Welcome to America. Where the
this
white women
weekend,
at?
This birthday weekend, I went to Cote.
Oh, yeah.
In Miami. Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
What was that all about? Daniel, who was one of the managers coming, who was extremely great.
Awesome.
Sebastian, the food was ridiculous. I ate this kimchi. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm 38 today, even though I'm 47. I aged backwards. It was so good. The food was out
Did
of
you have
this
to cook
world.
your own food?
No, I told him you cook it because
it's Korean barbecue style.
I don't even want to cook it. I just want to eat it. When I'm a professional eater. You come, you cook it, I'll eat it. I'll
PBD,
get
I'm
the
not
job
gonna
done.
lie. You're a Fort Lauderdale guy. I know you're building the Burbank in Fort Lauderdale, but you spend a lot of time design district. You like that area.
If I was 21 years old, I won't finish that sentence. But it would have been a very interesting. If me, Vinny, and Adam, can you imagine if all of us are 21 at the same age, even Tom?
What? Oh.
Imagine Tom. That would be, if Tom was
think really hard.
By the way, imagine Tom lands like the hottest girl, and we're like,
Oh.
how did that happen?
woman.
But if
and
he
then you
was
realize he wears a true size 12 shoes, not like
Stats.
11 and a half bragging about
But if he
size
was with
10.
us, though,
right.
we'd be a bad influence.
Trump DOJ found evidence.
Some guy. I'm just gonna tell you
I
real quick.
did land the
By the
Hamas
way,
girl,
I'm finally
and
going
she's
to show
listening.
it. This is the girl.
Hey, sexy.
This is the girl.
Foreman?
At the hotel. We were at Ritz-Carlton or whatever it was.
What?
A girl left us on his
earlier.
car. Hey,
My
sexy,
room?
I saw
That's
you
so
earlier. My
funny.
room number is 6821. Please come up.
Crystal.
Love Crystal.
That's a female handwriting. Don't try. The people are going to be like, oh, a guy wrote
Some
that. That's
people
a girl.
were trying to claim that that's my handwriting. Looks nothing like the way I write.
I asked the
Crystal.
valet. I said, the valet, I said, what is this? He goes, I don't know.
Wow.
I saw 3 girls came up to the car with that blue Porsche, but
Foreman.
guys, let's not get distracted.
Let's not do
Stay
it.
focused.
That's why I don't hang out in Miami,
Trump's
PBD.
DOJ
Way
found
distraction.
evidence Dems are skewing crime stats ahead of midterms elections. Okay. Kamala Harris claims Gen Z is afraid to have children because of climate anxiety her party created. No shit, Sherlock.
Back on
you
the
scared
bubble.
the crap out of them. Climate's going to kill them, and they're not going to be able to enjoy their time with their kids. Bill Ackman says Curtis Lee. We'll talk about that. Mamdani appears smiling, arm in arm with unindicted 1993 World Trade Center bombing co-conspirator and terrorist apologist. What a long title. Just simplify that title. But I had to read that whole title to share that I can pronounce unindicted and co-conspirator.
So you know unindicted means, right? We know that you were in the room, but we don't have actual proof that you did it.
Got it.
So he's involved
Maxwell and Epstein pleaded for Virginia Giuffre to have our baby. Is that serious?
Yep.
Just
I
keeps
have-
getting
Prompting
weirder.
teen to hatch escape plan.
Pat, it's disgusting. Her book is coming
we'll
out.
come to it.
Yeah.
We'll come to it.
Yeah.
Americans underprepared for longer lifespan and extended retirement years. Studies from, by the way, we're not even thinking about this. That is going to be a big problem 40 years from now, 20 years from now. Big problem 40 years from now. You'll see.
Okay.
It's going to be a massive problem because people
fully
are not
agree.
ready for it. And last but not least, listen, we have to do this. Shohei Ohtani had the single greatest baseball game a baseball player has ever had in the history of America And we are so proud of him.
Okay, sir.
He's so great. He's so awesome.
Rob?
But it is what it is. He's just amazing what he did. 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts in a game.
Unbelievable.
In a game.
He's not human.
He is not human. And, the Dodgers swept, and they're about to go up against either the Mariners or the Blue Jays. I swear to God, if you lose to either the Blue Jays or the Mariners, Tom,
He's
that is
highlighting
going to be the worst. But you guys going to
bad.
destroy them. Can you make a prediction? If it's Seattle, what's the final
what are the
game 7?
They
What is
win
it
in
going to be,
what?
Tom? If it's Seattle versus Toronto,
Sweep?
I have a number. What do you think it is?
Seattle, Toronto, like who's going to win the
If
AL?
Seattle goes to the World Series or Toronto goes, how will Dodgers beat them? What is it? I'm going to
Like
write mine down.
five
Just be
sweep?
quick, Tom. We don't
Well,
have to take a long time.
For Seattle, I think it goes 7 games and it goes into like 13 extra innings.
You're being serious or you're being
No,
sarcastic?
he's being
No,
sarcastic.
no.
He knows. It's going to be a sweep.
Yeah.
Tom, I
How
got
about Tom?
17 stories.
Tom,
Just say
sweep,
it.
5 and 5.
Seattle, what do you think?
And 6?
I think it's 6 or 6.
With Seattle, 6 and 6?
Toronto, I think, is definitely 6, and Seattle is probably 6.
I'm saying 4-1 Seattle, 4-2 Toronto.
Wow.
That's what I have. But we'll see.
Well,
Great
tonight-
job showing
tonight's
Tommy.
game 7 of
Vlad Jr. is locked in.
Yes, he is. But it's not Dodgers or the whole team is locked in, having fun. I saw him the other day creating Gatorade drinks for everybody. Shohei Ohtani. What a freaking teammate.
he's a
You almost
stud.
want to win for that guy's a leader amongst leaders. Love that guy.
Yeah.
He's such a great. By the way, both him in the NL and Aaron Judge in the AL, they're awesome faces of
Yep.
the league. Unlike LeBron James, they're awesome.
Yep.
They're phenomenal faces for the league. You want to watch the game because of those two guys. That means the Major League Baseball is going to be exciting for the next 5 to 10 years.
I agree.
I'm happy for him.
And
All right.
Aaron Judge, not just hitting home runs, got a batting title this year, which is a big deal.
Yeah, it's not easy to do.
for a big man.
Yes, it is. I agree. So, and then we got a couple other things that we'll get into story-wise. But before we do that, folks, I want to share something with you guys. I'll be making an announcement probably on Wednesday, if not on Friday. And Wednesday Business Podcast has become hot. We're excited about it. We got a lot of interesting people that will be joining us here soon as well. But today, here's what I'm convinced. I don't know about you. I've been doing so many Manect the last few weeks of people talking about what they're going to be doing for 2026. And here's all I'm telling them. In 2020, when election night ended, we were doing a podcast. That was Tom's first podcast he had been on PBD Podcast. He had come back. He was on the podcast. I invited him on. We had a great time. It was him, me, Adam, Sapala, Zenner, football player, a few other guys. We had a great time.
Dennis Prager called in.
Dennis Prager called in a bunch of.
Tigran lost a finger.
Do you know what happened that night? We hit 8,200 live streaming that night. When it ended at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because they didn't call it, that's when Biden won, I looked at the whole crew and I said, I'm telling you this right now, we're going to run the biggest live stream for 2024. It's going to be the Super Bowl. We're going to make some noise. We had already planned of what we were going to do 4 years later in 2024. This is us, right? How many views did this get, Rob? Can you see the views? How many you got?
So
Total
it
views?
had to be re-uploaded. The re-uploaded version only has 50,000.
No,
views.
Rob, it's not re-uploaded.
It said we had to re-upload this episode due to
got it.
copyright claim.
So when we played this originally, we had 8,200 max live that we hit, right? But watch what happens here. We planned for it 2024, and then it does what it does. Do you know the 2024 election night plan was planned 4 years prior to it happening? And we talked about it right after this thing was done at 3 o'clock in the morning. What's the point? On election night that night, concurrent, we hit 282,000 people live watching for 8.5 straight hours, to the point where Google CEO and YouTube CEO invited us to a meeting in D.C., and they said, what the hell did you guys do? It was a #1 live stream worldwide. Where am I going with this? I'm convinced 2026 is going to be a magical year. I'm convinced 2026 is going to be a magical year, and I'm convinced most people are going to screw it up. Most people are not going to have the right plans in place. Most people are going to wing it going into 2026. And my biggest suggestion to you is whatever you're doing, do not wing going into 2026. Whether you're an individual employee, you have a family, wife and kids and family, you got big plans for your family, you want to do something special for them, you're an independent contractor, you're a business owner, you're a government employee, whatever it may be, if there's ever been a year to fully be locked in for a great business plan, It's 25 going into 26. 26 is going to be a 250-year anniversary. Trump turns 80. World Cup's coming to the U.S. Rates are going to probably lower 3 more times in 2026. Stock market's going to open up with IPOs. It's going to be a special year, and a lot of people are going to have a lot of success in 2026. I would like you to do the same as well. However, on December 12th, every year, I do a one-day webinar for business planning. We call it the Business Planning Workshop. I want to show you a video of 2 people, see if you recognize the 2 guys, and see which one you are when people do business planning. One guy's name is Ernie. One guy's name is Larry. They were both annoying. I loved both of them, but they were annoying in this setting. But I want you to watch and see which one you are, and then I want to encourage you to get registered today for December 12th. Go ahead and play the clip, Rob.
So today I'm looking at 2 business plans. One is by Ernie, whose business plan is purely based on emotion. The other one is Larry, whose business plan is purely based off of logic. You tell me, if you were an investor, who you would invest in, Ernie or Larry?
Okay, guys, so thank you for being here. Ernie, Larry, let's go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Patrick.
So I love the enthusiasm. You're excited, but how are you actually going to do it?
Patrick, this thing is going to be massive. I'm telling you, it's going to make billions and billions of dollars. Don't worry about that right now. I'm just telling you, we're going to dominate the marketplace. Everybody's going to be talking about us. I shared this idea with multiple people in my family. They all love it. Even my grandmother's actually deaf in 1 year. She still got it.
Get out of it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. It's promising, but how are you going to present it to investors?
Pat, I'll worry about that later. Just right now, it's about the vibe. It's just going and getting it. People feed off the energy. You don't feel that? Feel that.
Unbelievable.
Look at that. People want that. People invest in that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Actually, Patrick, the market data suggests a 1.7 probability of scale, assuming favorable inflation trends. So, yes, that's where I'm at right now.
What's the vision? Give me the vision long term.
Actually, Patrick, that's where I wear the glasses. I really don't have good vision, but I ran 47 simulations, and none of them support anything that you were talking about earlier about gut feelings and anything like that. So.
Is there any plans to disrupt an industry? Like, does that excite you? Do you have the right people around you on the team?
Patrick, people equal problems. I trust Excel spreadsheet more than I trust people. So
makes sense. Listen, I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. So we're done?
We're fully done, yes.
Can I update my sheet? I'm leaving early. I can go home and play with my cats. Thank you, Patrick.
Hey.
So the truth is, we just saw all emotion Ernie, and we just saw all logic Larry, right? The reality of it is, I've been doing business plans for the last 25 years, tens of thousands of business plans with people. The truth is, you need both. You need emotion for fire. You need logic for clarity and plan. This is why once a year, I host an event called the Business Planning Workshop. It's the only virtual event that we do that anybody from around the world can come and log into this one here. You get a 200-page manual based on 12 building blocks on how you can write a business plan to make 2026 the beginning of the greatest years of your life. If you, your team, your spouse, you guys haven't registered yet, click on the link below, get registered. Cannot wait to spend an entire day with you on December 12th of this year. I'll see you there.
All right, so we're going to put the link below, Rob, for people to go ahead and get registered. Ernie was fantastic, but I kind of like Larry more. Larry, to me, was a little nerdy, exciting guy to be around. But Rob, what's the website to get registered for people that are just listening in?
bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. The link is also in the description and pinned to the chat.
Beautiful. There you go. bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. Get registered. Watch it with your team. Watch it with your family. Looking forward to spending December 12, 2025 this year with you. Having said that, let's get right into it. No King's protest, Vinny. No King's protest. This is, think about it this way. If you are a socialist, if you are a communist, the Communist Party has not had any attention for the longest time. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, for communists, the Democrats are so devastated with everything that's going on with Trump right now, winning. Hey, guys, let's just team up with everybody, right? And they decide to do this protest. According to them, 7 million people show up nationwide to do this protesting. They were willing to take anybody. And now they teamed up with communists and socialists.
Weird.
Isn't that exciting? Mm-hmm. So now they're bringing more attention to them. But we're going to go through a couple clips, folks. I want you to watch us here. So No King's protest, live updates. Organizer claim 7 million people marched in anti-Trump rallies this weekend. And let me go through this, Rob. 7 million people across the country turned out for the second No King's protest, making the largest single-day demonstration against the sitting president in modern-day history. Organizers said as the government shutdown approached in third week, millions of demonstrators joined protests in more than 2,500 cities and towns in all 50 states, with several global cities joining in. stand up or call it. Anyways, I can read all this stuff. Let's watch a few clips together. Go ahead, Rob.
The massive No Kings protest that swept across all 50 states and Washington, D.C. Yesterday, organizers say that nearly 7 million people attended events to protest what they called President Trump's authoritarian power grabs. To put that in perspective, that's 2 million more people than the first No Kings protest back in June. People of all ages and backgrounds came out sporting costumes, waving homemade protest signs. Some of the biggest crowds were seen in Chicago, New York, L.A., D.C., and Boston. But crowds also turned out into smaller cities and towns. Protesters even showed up in Republican-led states that voted for Trump in 2024. But no matter where they were from, they all had one unifying message. America is no place for kings.
Got it.
They're not going to intimidate us with tyrant talk. We are out here.
Sounds like
to
Larry.
stand up for this democracy.
Power to the fascism and the threats that are coming from D.C. That's what they want us to do, and they will only be successful in that if we remain silent.
We are standing up for those who are scared to come out.
I could smell her from
We're standing for
here.
those who believe in
what she smells
democracy.
like.
And it's beautiful to see all these people here. It gives me hope. It gives me a lot of hope, honestly. And
What do you
that's what
believe
we
in?
all
Yeah,
believe in.
nothing,
We believe in
Patrick.
hope. We believe in getting back to America's beautiful self.
Which was what? You want to get back to the beautiful America itself. Can you go to the great Nancy Pelosi tweet, Rob, if you don't mind? Go on Twitter. So Nancy Pelosi posted this video of her of breaking the, what did she do? She broke the crown.
She loves
right?
ripping. She loves ripping.
No, just go to my Twitter account, Rob, if you could. Just go to, if you
She
can
loves
go,
that. That's her move.
Yeah,
Remember the State of the
papers
Union?
Good
She
call.
loves ripping
It's like
things.
a Halloween prop,
So if
right?
you can zoom in a little bit,
almost
she
broke her
does this
wrist.
video. Go ahead, Rob.
The crown.
She loves destroying things. Isn't that great?
She still has
So,
survived
Now watch
such.
this. Rob, go
I'm a
to her
big girl.
tweet. Not mine. Just go to her tweet first. Look at the comment section, folks. Okay, you cannot comment. Okay, you know who did that? Go a little bit lower, Rob. You know who didn't allow people to comment? Actual kings.
Weird.
So go back to what I said to her, Rob, if you don't mind. Go back one. Watch this here. I said, hey, why do you hate freedom of speech? Your comments are off. You're doing what monarchies actually did. There's a word for people like you, right? That's Nancy Pelosi for you. George Conway was out there. The great George Conway. Ex-husband, I believe, of Kellyanne Conway. Maybe they're still together. But he was wearing a shirt that said, I am Antifa. So he's finally telling the truth to people. Go ahead, Rob.
So it exists. Oh.
Hey, Donald J., how many kids did you start today? Hey, Donald J., how many kids did you start today?
How many what?
Hey, okay.
How many kids did you start today?
His dog wants to leave. His dog hates him.
How many what did he say?
How many kids did you start today?
I don't even
Starve. How many kids did you starve today? I
Starve.
believe. Yeah.
Oh, and he wore a shirt called I Am Antifa? Well, first of all, you have to have a voice for protesting. He doesn't have it.
At all.
So that was like the worst
Cory
voice
Booker's
for-
the same.
But, hey, George, if you're watching, you look good. You've lost weight. Good for you.
Fantastic.
So whatever you're doing,
And his
you're
scarf
looking
matches
good.
his watch.
You're looking good. So what else do you have, Rob, of this? There's a bunch of clips
Pat,
I
I
got
showed him
here.
there's one kid. Rob, can you please show Pat the one with the one kid? This is, by the way, when I tell you guys, these people have no clue. Well, Rob, show him. Yeah, show him. By the way, this is the epitome of the Democratic
this
Party.
is perfect.
Pat, no vision, no direction, no leader. He's at no kings. He has no clue why he's there. Play this clip.
Trump's a bitch.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here.
Any particular reason why you don't like him?
No clue at all. I'm just going with what everybody else saying.
At least he's honest about it.
He's honest,
Yeah.
but it's like, why is he there? And then this one, Pat, this just
This is the
sums
best.
them
But it's-
all up.
Go ahead, Rob.
I like the Burger King.
No King's Day.
And why specifically are you out supporting No King's Day?
I think protest is important.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
2 minutes.
A couple minutes. And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President Trump?
I agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
Look.
Where, okay,
I gotta go.
I would start with,
I gotta go.
well,
And by the way, this lady is probably how old?
I don't even think it's appropriate for me to
6:55?
I gotta go.
It's not appropriate. That you have no idea why you're there. So it makes me question who paid her to me, I feel like somebody paid, like, hey, listen, go there, hold the sign, we'll color it for you, stand there. You have no idea what you're doing there. And say what you want about January 6th. They were, you know what? Those say, I don't care what anybody says.
They knew
they
they
were
knew
cheated.
why they were there.
They knew why they were cheated, so they went to the source. The government screwed you over, so they went to the Capitol. That's how you do it, bro. These people have no idea what the hell they're doing there.
Except 270 of them. But we'll leave the feds out of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Go back to that one. So these speakers can have the glass walls, but we can't do that on the...
Yeah, but Bill Nye, he got approached through Bill Nye, the science guy. Some guy's like, you're Bill Nye, the political science guy. He's like, what are you here? Why are you even here? What are you talking about, climate change? It's like, give me a break, bro.
Rob, play the clip of MSNBC showing the protesting of 2017. Go ahead, Rob. Watch this, folks.
Look at this. Millions of people across the country marching as we speak against the policies of President Trump.
8 years ago.
This is Boston. Look at that.
Yeah.
We'll continue to follow these rallies throughout the day here on MSNBC.
Come on, Ali.
I knew right when I saw this, I'm like, wait, it's not even HD. You knew it was old. Like it's like you know it's old. You know it's old. Like why are they?
Do you have John? What is that actor's name? Cusack.
John Cusack.
Oh,
yeah. If you have some of those, Rob, it's just so fantastic watching these guys.
My favorite part of the footage in Boston was the float in the middle with the Patriots players on it.
You're so funny. Go ahead, Rob.
It's not.
Can't hear Rob.
Oh, it's in mono again. Here, I have Bill Nye. Here's Bill Nye.
The science.
Yes,
Political
Bill
science
Nye,
guy.
the science guy, also
the freaking
appeared.
bow tie.
I remember well the Vietnam War. The mall was shoulder to shoulder, much as it is today. Traffic stopped citywide. The protest movement expanded. There were protests around the country, and the war was ended. We are protesting in the same fashion today. Only today, the stakes are higher. Rather than abandoning a war against an elusive, perhaps sometimes imaginary foe, we are confronting the possible end of our republic. We are here to tell our lawmakers that what's going on in our government is wrong. They must stop the abuses of this petulant president and his circle of sycophants.
Be specific.
No thrones.
Be specific. Why
No
can't
crowns.
they, like...
No kings.
By the way, do you realize, I'll give you a complete different perspective. These guys actually had a shot. For example, let's just say we're doing this. I had a very good call the last couple of days with somebody that's, competing in a mayoral race. But we had a very good call together, okay? And I listen and I'm like, okay, you have 7 million people that are coming out. You know how I would have done this campaign differently? Say I'm the guy that's running this. Say we're running this, Tom, and it's our team. First of all, we would have 5 points. Here's the 5 things we want to improve. It can't be general statements. It can't be emotional statements. It can't be victimhood statements. It has to carry weight.
And it can't be boil the ocean.
No, it can't. It's got to carry weight. 1, we would like to see X, Y, Z. 2, we would like to see this. 3, we would like to see this. 4, we would like to see this. 5 is this. And by the way, here's some pamphlets. Go share with others. Here's some videos. Go educate yourself. Go to xyz.com. Do you realize, Vinny, 7 million people came out to protest. Hundreds of millions of views are going to be shown all across social media platforms. TV, social media, X, Facebook, YouTube. You had a chance to drive all of us to a website to see all the things that Trump is doing wrong.
Yep.
You missed the entire opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if you put all these time together and got nothing accomplished. Nothing. Give us, like if I was to ask you right now all week long, and by the way, for some of you guys that are watching this, that maybe you're a liberal yourself that's watching this right now, what do they want? What was the purpose? I watch a lot of CNN today and MSNBC today, believe it or not. I'm watching a lot of CNN and MSNBC today. They had nothing to say. Give me your issues. Nothing to say. Not one single thing to say. Don't get me wrong. The one thing that you have to give them credit to, Tom, and I don't think we do this enough, I do want to give credit because normally, and I want to say this in a very encouraging, motivational way. if you have to choose which side is fatter, it's probably the left. And so if the Democrats were able to get their, audience to go out there and exercise a little bit and burn some fat, it was actually a great idea.
Yes.
To get them out exercising, getting some vitamin, some sun,
big time.
Good stuff.
That pale skin.
If that was the main thing, great. But guess what? Most people who protested were white.
And in cities
and older,
this?
by the way, statistically older.
Pat,
people were looking at
you
this.
You just nailed it. Sorry, Tom. They're in Philly, D.C., Chicago, New York, Boston. Nobody from it wasn't a minority thing. It was old white liberals.
Yeah, it's. And by the way, here's what the president had to say about it. Go ahead, Rob.
What's your response to the protests over the weekend, the No Kings protests?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco...
By the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Busting his ass. Yeah. And he is.
Yeah.
And
you gotta love it. What's this, Rob?
This is the video that Trump put on True Social about
the chocolate. This the chocolate video?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rob.
I think our friend Harry Sisson is in this video. Can we play with the music? Danger Zone?
Yes,
Baby, I run to the danger zone.
By the way, look at Harry.
Sisson. Oh.
He really posted this?
Yes, he did.
Yes. Danger zone.
Oh, look at him. He is the biggest troll.
He's such a troll. On one
Watch.
clip, he'll say no kings, and then he'll throw.
This is my favorite.
Put this out there.
This is my favorite.
Excalibur, right?
And look where they posted it on Blue Sky.
On Blue Sky.
And
look at him bowing down.
Reverend.
Freaking what
That's him actually.
Blue Sky Mula.
Blue Sky's it's like a leftist liberal app where they're just in there.
What's Blue Sky, Rob?
It's like Threads. It's the
Threads for liberals and people that are just anti-Trump hating.
Is it with a bigger brand or is it?
I'm not sure. I think it was Jack Dorsey may have been behind it and at its initial steps, but it's the left's version of Twitter.
It was Jack Dorsey because Jack Dorsey said he removed himself from the board yesterday in a tweet, and when he tweeted that he wants Thomas Massey. Somebody responded and he says, I removed myself from the board on that. But go ahead, Adam, your thoughts on No Kings.
So I'm going to show you this one picture that can sort of sum up exactly what the No Kings protest is. Here's in front of the Capitol building. See if you see one American flag here in this picture.
One's upside down.
It's upside down. But it's upside down. So here's a snapshot. I'm sure there were some American flags at this protest. But here's one snapshot of how many free Palestine flags, how many fascist things, how many Ukraine flags, how many upside down American flags, not one American flag. Say what you want about Republican protest or MAGA protest or even January 6th for that matter. You didn't stop seeing American flags left and right. And that's the biggest problem what's going on in this country is that on one hand, the Republicans, they got the American flag. And sometimes they love the country so much they don't want anybody to come in. The nativists, the isolationists, which I'm pretty critical of as well. But on the left, it's every other flag than the United States of America that comes first. The Ukraine flag, LGBT flag, the woke flag, the Free Palestine flag, the Gays for Gaza flag, the BLM flag, the Me Too flag, all these flags, but they don't have enough sense to actually have patriotism and the American flag. That, to me, is the biggest issue here. The last point is this. Here's the problem that I see with all these things. You know what? As much as these people are wrong in their notion that Trump is a no king, here's the challenge. They're all voters. Every single one of them has a vote. And you might dismiss them and say that they're illogical and wrong and emotional and just playing to their feelings, which I agree with. But their illogical vote is the same as a logical vote. And that's the problem. All these people, 7 million, 5 million, whatever it is, they're all just voting out of pure emotion. And they showed those clips of the guy that's like, yeah, bro, I don't even know what I'm doing here, dog.
I have no idea.
Hey, they just told me Trump was bad, so I'm here saying Trump is bad. Yeah. And that's the cult of personality that is now the left.
But Adam, if you think about it, if you think about it,
you had me at Macleta.
For all the people that don't speak Assyrian, that means excuse me. But if you think about it, what no kings? the left is so, Democrats are so gone. You're prepping for a football, like, bro, Trump isn't running in 2028, okay? So there all this no kings, all this effort, it's like you're prepping for a team that you're not going to play in the Super Bowl. It's like you're prepping for the freaking Steelers, but you're playing the Giants. It doesn't make any sense. And like we talked about January 6th, those people, those Americans were like, okay, they cheated. We all know that they cheated. We're gonna go and we're gonna go protest. Yeah, they were provoked. Yes, the FBI was in there. They did their thing. But it's like the left, Adam. This basically comes down to the left is allergic to winning. They cannot stand. They can't stand that the country is doing great. They can't stand that Trump is doing peace deals. They can't stand that the border is shut down and all their votes. Adam, this is stopping their freaking voter base that you're talking about, all those voters. They are furious. And you saw the videos, all those people's in their city. You're in D.C., you're in Philly, you're in New York. Where are all the minorities at? No, it's white, angry liberals because they want the cities.
Can I give you an answer
I
to
want
that?
to show you this. I want to show you this first. So here's
Abby?
CNN, Dear Abby with Scott Jennings, and you'll see the other lady. I wish I knew her name. I don't, but I've seen her many times. This exchange is the best part. Go ahead, Rob.
Look, I mean, if Democrats want to embrace having the Communist Party here in New York City sponsor this rally, be my guest, respectfully, and I hear what you're saying, but where is the energy in the Democratic Party? You see energy around protecting illegal populations. You see it every day. Energy around criminals, violent criminals. I mean, Democratic officials all over this country have worked very hard to let violent criminals out on the streets. Where is the lie in what is being said by Caroline Leavitt? This is where the energy is on the left.
The energy,
violent, illegal aliens, violent criminals. That's the energy. That's what you see.
The energy is behind protecting people's rights. It's behind not having citizens citizens, Americans.
What about illegal aliens being rounded up by ICE?
Many Democrats have said we got the immigration issue wrong and we need to fix it. Perhaps maybe in Congress, but we know that won't happen because they aren't even working right now. But people are protesting Americans being zip-tied, being detained without having their rights
even
protected.
Say it.
I'm not saying that is not who is that is not the Democratic Party saying that let all illegal people or criminals run free. That is not what the Democratic Party is saying.
Those are the policies. Those are your.
No, they are not.
I mean, you have prosecutors and judges all over this country that have let violent criminal after violent criminal out on the streets, and then what do? They commit other violent crimes in city after city after city.
With people
exercising their rights to protest.
I don't know.
I really want to understand.
This is the point.
There are going to be millions of people probably out on the streets all over the country. And many of those people are, your neighbors, perhaps some of your friends. They're regular Americans that have constitutional rights, that have voting rights like everybody else.
He says, you can pause
Why is it that...
He says there's nothing wrong with protesting. What are you protesting for?
That's the goal. Yeah. Like, what's the...
What are the issues? What are you about? What a wasted opportunity. By the way, Democrats actually had an opportunity to do something with this. They wasted it. They actually had a shot at doing something with this. They wasted it.
And this is their second time. Pat,
yes.
You already had round one, and it was a flop. Now you had more people. By the way, the numbers are 2 to 3 million. The 7 million even was a lie.
I've been quiet up to now because this is so on brand. What do we talk about? Feelings and victim groups to create voting blocks and response. I agree with Adam. Yep, there are voters out there, but all they have is a bunch of feeling on parade, and they're trying to find the victim. They're trying to make everyone a victim of an authoritarian king. This is the playbook that the Democrats run, and it doesn't work when you go out there and people say, okay, I'm listening. What has the king done to me? Republican side, Ronald Reagan. Ask yourself when you go to the voting booth, am I better off than I was 4 years ago, specifically? And if you're not, I ask for your vote because I want to turn the economy around. I want to do this. There's the pitch, to quote one election. These folks were out there. These were paid. You can see it. And I bet I would love to see, it's going to happen. You're going to have somebody like who, sitting at a card table, Steven Crowder, saying this was paid for by communists, prove me wrong. And they're going to look at all the logos of the people that paid for this, and people are going to go, wait.
Have you seen it, actually? Guys that were paid? Have you seen clips? I want you to play this clip, Rob, because Because what people are going to say when you say that is going to say, well, prove it to me, show it to me. Okay? Watch this here. Okay? Rob, play this clip because I agree with you, Tom.
And I see the logo. There's a logo set that
for
says-
sure, Tom. But here's the thing. Watch what this guy does. He's doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah, he's
Look at this
exposing
guy. He crashed a paid protester meeting. Watch this.
Oh, I know this. Yeah.
Crash a paid protester meeting, and this is part 1.
Oh, we're having our little meeting. All right, guys, we're going to the paid protester meeting right now. All the signs are there, and they're discussing what's going to be happening at this protest.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Palestine flag.
Look at that.
How's it going?
Ready to go.
Is this where the protest is starting?
Yeah.
What's the plan for today?
Sorry, we can't really talk right now. We're setting up.
How come?
Watch what he
How
does.
come you can't talk?
Just goes right in the middle of them.
How come you can't talk?
And watch what he finds out about one of the guys.
You're setting up?
Back later.
Oh, so what are we discussing?
We talked to a press person.
Who's the press person?
I don't know right now, but I can find out for you.
Okay, I'll be here. So none of you guys want to say what you're protesting for?
You just got to talk to a press liaison. Sorry.
Why do I have to talk to a press person? I feel you would know because you're protesting. Just tell me, we're man to man. Tell me why you can't talk. Or did they tell you can't talk? That's the strategy.
It's all good.
Do you guys work with the People's Forum?
Yeah.
Who do you work with?
Talk to the press liaison.
Who do you guys work with?
Watch
He's
that guy.
shaking his head that he can't say who he works with without a press liaison. It's okay, Victor. You work for the Party of Socialism and Liberation, and you want to be a professor. And seeing as you refer to yourself as an undocumented immigrant from Mexico, I imagine that ICE might have some time for you, seeing as how you also protest for it. You're an actual communist, and when your comrades started chanting a genocidal threat, I found you again.
Oh, Israel will fall. Now we're just saying that. That's a new one. What does Israel will fall mean?
Look at this guy.
What does Israel will fall mean? Is that a call
He
for
doesn't say
violence?
anything. Pause it.
Is Israel will fall a call for violence?
So, what's the guy's name?
Shout out to this guy, Nate Friedman. Great
good
job.
work,
I see
guy.
him on the
But
streets.
look, I mean,
Congrats,
listen.
Nate.
This is the part about this. Just tell us what you stand for. Tell us your ideas. Missed opportunity. Absolute embarrassing. They should have done a better job than what they did. They could have done better. They didn't. They screwed up.
Can I ask you a really
Do
quick
you see
question?
what this kid says real quick before we move on from Nate Friedman? Look at the last thing he has to write on his profile.
never take my own
I would
life.
never take my... Think about that for a second. In a modern day America, when you're going against the fascists, the actual fascists, you have to put on your Instagram profile, hey, by the way, this is what I do. This is where I'm at in New York. By the way, would never take my own life.
Good, man.
That's where we're at in society right now.
Let me ask you a question, Pat, just really, really fast. With what they're doing, it's obviously not working. You were talking about business plans and the business planning workshop that's coming, the phone calls that you're getting with potential ex-mayor candidates and all that type of stuff. If you're the Democratic Party, enough of this stuff, Pat. Right now, what would you be doing to get those voters that are on the other side to try to be like, okay, like, what would be a move? What would be a game plan
I hope
for you
they
to do?
continue doing this because all this is doing is helping the Republican Party.
But if you were a Democrat and you know this is like you,
If
how
I'm
you,
a Democrat?
if you're a Democrat right now, Pat, and you're leading the charge right now.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story. It is 2009, and I have this two people in the group who, in my office, they're super negative.
Okay.
Super negative. And I like these guys a lot, but they're super negative. So one day I hold an emergency meeting, and the people that are there, whoever watches it, they'll remember this. I sat everybody down, and I said, can I ask you a question? I said, yo, what's up? I said, why are you doing this? I started off with 5 people that know exactly why they're doing it, and I finished it with the 2 people that are the most negative people in the room, and I want them to either leave or make a decision. And one by one, I'm doing this for my mom. I'm doing this for my dad. I'm doing this for this. I'm doing this for that. It's getting very emotional in the room. I said, okay, great. So you're doing this because you want to do X, Y, Z for? I do. All right. Finally gets to the last one. I said, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I said, then why are you putting yourself through this? Why are you here? You look miserable. If you're miserable being here, buddy, you're not forced to be here. Go home.
Mm-hmm.
Go do something else you can get excited about. But why are you doing this? Those 2 walked off and they quit. The other 5 who stuck around, they all became multimillionaires. Okay. What's the moral of the story? Here's the moral of the story. The other guys have to get to the bottom. By the way, this was a 2-hour conversation with 7 people.
Okay.
They have to find out why they're doing this. If you don't, you're not going to pay the price. You're not going to work that hard. Democrats have to truly sit down and ask, what do you actually believe in? Not, well, what's going to be a good angle against Republicans? No, no, no. What do you believe in? Like, if you ask me what I believe in, I'm going to tell you what I believe in. Mm-hmm. If I ask you what you believe in, you're going to tell me what you believe in. Yep. If I ask him what are the most important values, I've seen Rob evolve over the last nearly 4 Rob, how many years have you been here now? Is it 4 years
4
yet?
years. Yep.
No shit, it's 4 years already.
Yep.
Okay, 4 years. I saw Rob driving. How many hours away were you driving coming down here at the beginning?
This guy was driving all over, man.
3.5 each way.
3.5 hours. He would come and leave. So, but I would,
Crazy.
you know, if they can't get to the bottom of the emotion. I had a call with a candidate this weekend. I said, listen, here's what I would be doing. When you're telling the story, tell me the story. Resonate with me. Emotions, heart-based. Why are you doing this? You look miserable. If it looks like it's work, don't do it. People will feel it. Democrats right now are clueless. And if you took the list, if they did it logically, it's not going to resonate. Mm-hmm. If they did it actually emotionally, to go back and say, when I was 16 years old, my parents went through XYZ. And I picked up this one book and I read it. And it changed my life. At 18 years old, I went through this. At 22, I did this. By 28, I did this. And I'm now 49 years old, and that thing matters to me more today than it mattered to me at 16 years old. And I want to talk to the 16-year-old. I want to talk to the 28-year-old. I want to talk to the It's got to be something like that. They don't know how to speak this language. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to speak this language, and it's unfortunate because it's almost like a couples retreat. And the Democrats, you know which couples retreats they are? They're Jon Favreau and his girl. That they're together only because they're waiting for their daughter to be 18 years old, leave the house to get the divorce.
Yeah.
They look like they're miserable together. Miserable together. Right there. Those guys. Zoom in on that one, Rob. The one to the you had the picture, Rob. Right there. Right there.
No, Jon Favreau.
Rob,
Right there.
You just had it right there.
Rob Miller.
It's okay. It's okay.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Those guys right there. That's the couple. That's the Democratic Party right there. You're looking at them. Okay, if you go back and look at them, that's their story. Tom, I'll give you the final
Vince
words
Vaughn
and
in
we'll
that
go to the
movie
next story.
he was the guy, though.
So,
yes.
You're absolutely right. And
be
the
best
final
ass
word
I
I
can
have
be.
as I go back to it again, feeling. You know, you're out there with feeling and you're not selling anything. You're selling the fact that I'm so upset. I'm so upset. This is like an old book that was Men is from Mars, Women are from Venus, talking about women were very emotional, and there's different things that went with that. Both had their pluses, both have their strengths. We understand each other, and we live better in this universe called the relationship. That's possible, but it's not happening right now because there's nothing that they're selling. They're selling anger. They're selling retribution. They're selling all this. There's nothing that they're selling, and it makes no sense. I love the thing couples retreat with that because I heard about this weekend. This couple, 88 and 91 years old, in front of a judge in Miami, and they said, we want to get divorced. And he said, how long have you been married? 62 years. You've been married 62 years, and you're just getting a divorce now? Why now? Well, we were waiting till the kids died. So it's like it's the irrationality of the Democrats. Makes no sense whatsoever, right?
Dumb.
And that's what it is.
Funny.
They're out there selling feeling and screaming, and they can't even sell it. They have to give these people props to walk around, and they don't know what the props mean.
I'll give you one quick anecdote. It's not sustainable. I'll tell you why. All weekend, randomly, had nothing to do with No Kings protest. Friends of mine, liberal friends, texted me left and right. Adam, you were actually right about Trump. Hey, bro, I want to apologize. Hey, buddy, I just want to tell you Trump's my guy now.
Oh, they're coming around. Weird.
Much how I came around over the last few years, I'm getting these texts now. And I feel like I'm sort of the sounding board because I'm sort of like the poster child for being sort of a liberal when you're young and then, you know, your brain taking over and actually using logic. And they're sort of coming to me as like it's okay. Tell me I'm okay. I'm like, it's all good. Come on aboard.
Yeah.
Because common sense will take over after whatever it may be. There's always going to be a tipping point. And I'm so proud of my friends. And one of them goes, you know what it was for me? I had to remove my ego. My ego was getting in the way of me saying, you know what? I was wrong. This kid was protesting against Trump in 2016. Pro-Hillary. He's married, not gay, I should say. 4 kids, family man. And he said, and it took him just till now to say, I was wrong about Trump. And my opinion is this is going to happen more and more and more. Regarding these protests, It's just old white boomers who were basically at Woodstock back in the day, who've been indoctrinated for 40 years from the left-wing media. You have the Hamas sympathizers and you have the woke progressives teamed up for this Big Tent party of chaos and progressive and communism. And for me, this is not sustainable because any logic will tell you this is all going to fall apart.
All right, let's get to the next story here. Next story I want to get into is Bill Ackman says Curtis Sliwa must drop out of the New York City race or Mamdani will be the next mayor. Okay, so now this is Bill Ackman. Rob, if you got the clip, $10 billion man, here's what he had to say. If Curtis drops out, Andrew Cuomo can win. If he doesn't, we are toast. This is what it looks like right now from the poly market with Sliwa in. Less than 1%, Cuomo 9%, Mamdani 89.7%. So in other words, Cuomo is 9xing Sliwa, okay? 9xing Sliwa. It's where it's at. And I don't know if he is.
That word you said? 9xing?
9xing.
Oh, 9xing.
Xing
Sorry.
Sliwa.
Sorry about that.
Which means like he is 9 times ahead of Sliwa. Which clip is this, Rob?
This is Curtis responding to Bill Ackman's calls for him to drop out of the race.
However, I think it is clear to New Yorkers who are against Mamdani that you and Cuomo are splitting the anti-Mamdani vote. So my question is simple. Are you okay if Mamdani wins that you, so to speak, contributed to that?
Well, number one, Ackman is a jerk.
Oh, great.
Has he been right yet? Here's a guy who goes up to Newport, Rhode Island and thinks he's a professional tennis player. Come on, Ackman. Stay in your lane. Does he know anything about politics? No. Does he live in New York City? No. He lives in Chapaka, the whitest suburb of America, where even the lawn jockeys are white. He may know Wall Street. He may know hedge funds. He has been wrong every step of the way with the billionaires. So let's say people come to the conclusion, if somehow I lose, and we know Andrew Cuomo's lost, he's already tossed in the town. Oh, it's because of you, Curtis. Really? It's because of the Democrats. Wait a second. Who created Zohran Mamdani? Who embraced him? Who nourished him? Who supported him? And how dare you, people who know nothing about politics, suggest that everybody who's going to vote for me is suddenly going to be reborn. We love Andrew Cuomo. He killed all these elderly. He's a sexual harasser. He told conservatives and Republicans in 2014, if you're conservative and you believe in right to life and the Second Amendment, you have no place in New York. You need to leave. This is the result of the Democrat self-destruction. So I'm supposed to help them? How come they don't help themselves? Andrew Cuomo failed everybody in that primary. He even admitted it. Now he's basically saying, I can't win without Sliwa votes. Where are your votes? Why don't you spend your money and he's got millions from the billionaires? Millions. Go out, get your own votes. Convert Sliwa voters. But for me to drop out, I represent a major party line. I have people running under me, council people, judges. They put their heart and soul into it. They support me. I have more donations than Andrew Cuomo does matching funds.
Tom, what do you think about what he's saying?
Well, this is a pretty logical takedown of the situation, and he's incensed that he would, be asked to drop out and sacrifice himself for somebody he regards to be a mortal political enemy. And so you see he's incensed. But there's a point that he does make there at the end. He said, look, there's a lot of judges and people that are behind me that are supporting me because we're trying to get conservative judges and conservative assemblymen and get something in there. So I understand that. But I also understand that, beyond it being the mortal enemy, the notion, and I don't like the way the question was phrased. Do you think you're responsible for Mamdani if you don't drop out? Wait a minute. Pat, he's asking me, saying, wait a minute. Do you think it's your fault? And so I think that's the wrong angle of the question, because it's not going to be Curtis Sliwa's fault. It's the freaking voters voted for it. And I look at Curtis there, and he's like, wait a minute. You can't make it my part because I won't drop out to help you, a mortal enemy that I've been campaigning against all my life. Now, logically, does it make sense for what Bill Ackman says? It does logically make sense. But I don't think there's enough time left. They got, was it, Pat, barely 3 weeks to the election?
Yeah.
Barely 3 weeks?
And Tom,
logically, it makes sense. If Sliwa will drop out, and there could be a surge of understanding of the position of Andrew Cuomo, and he can present the guy that I think he is underneath and do a better job of presenting that guy to the voters.
Okay.
I think you're going to close this up. But Sliwa was kind of giving you a history lesson. This guy's my political enemy.
Tom always does this to me, Pat, so I'm going to do it back to him. Tom, words talk, numbers scream. Let's do a little math. Can you grab your pen for a second? Even if, Tom, Zohan Mamdani is Polymarket, Robbie has it up right now, 93.2%.
This is odds. This isn't percent.
Hold on, odds. Ready for this? Let's just be real. If Andrew Cuomo's at 5.3, if Curtis drops out and he gets that 0.7, that's going to put him where, Tom?
No, these are odds. These are odds of victory, not percent.
But he's
polling.
asking you. What he's asking you is if it's a very fair question, but this is confusing to the average voter. But Tom, if Sliwa drops out, where does Cuomo's odds go to from 5.3%?
In less than a month. Out.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I'm sorry, Tommy. Let's.
What does it take to?
I think his odds go up, but right now this is showing that barring some crazy thing, there's a 93% chance with 3 weeks to go that the 57% that Mamdani has is going to get him there.
Yes.
I think Cuomo would end up here like 40, 42 maybe.
Yes.
Of vote.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be like 42, 56.
Yes.
You know,
that's a big, Tom, that's what I'm saying is the saying
but I don't think, I think there's time. There's only 3 weeks left, but there's time.
But does it seem like Silva, with that interview, with that attitude, he's not doing anything that anybody else wants to do, and he's right, Tom. It's yours to win. The game plan, you can't wait till fourth quarter, 2 minutes left to be like, okay, now we're going to do what we know that we should have done from the beginning. Come on. It's a little late. It's a little late.
Yeah, and he's being asked the question, do you think you're responsible for his victory? Wait a minute. I ran as a Republican. I ran in the primary. I won the primary.
By the way, nothing about what Curtis said is wrong.
You're right.
Nothing about what he said is wrong. But here's also the thing. He doesn't stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about what he said is wrong, but also he doesn't stand a chance. And going after Bill Ackman's tennis game, I don't care what Bill Ackman's tennis game is. And he says he's not he doesn't have the, when has he been right? He's pretty right about Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And he was willing, Curtis, for him to step aside and go and defend Trump, even though he was a liberal donor for many, many years. So guess what? He ended up being right on going on Trump's side.
He was right about the Ivy League colleges. It wouldn't protect the Jewish students.
But I'm going to tell you this. The conversation would be a level-headed person needs to have a call with Sliwa that Sliwa respects to say, what job do you think you would be able to have positive, direct impact with if you got that job? What would be the job that you feel like you could have positive impact with? What would that be? Okay? If Cuomo wins, you get this job. What would that job be? A level-headed person needs to have that conversation. And by the way, don't forget, there's one more debate coming up. I'm going to be watching that debate. It's on Wednesday.
I agree 100%.
I'm going to be watching that debate. I'm going to be watching that debate myself, and I'm hoping that Andrew Cuomo comes out and connects with people. I mean, this is a guy, the toughest part about being Andrew Cuomo is the following. You know what's the toughest part? Everybody knows his dirt. It's so public. It's like, look, you already know what happened with the old folks' homes during COVID. You know the sexual things that's out there. You know everything and anything that they want to talk about. There's so many shots that they can take at him. He has to dig deep. This is the last one. There's a lot of pressure on him because I bet the one person he's talking to a lot when he's private by himself, you know who I believe he's talking to a lot right now when he's by himself? To his father. Nope, to his father, who's no longer with us. He's talking to Mario. Wow. He's saying, Dad, what do you want me to do? What do I do? I bet he's talking to his dad.
Probably.
He's doing this for his dad. Why did he become a governor? Because he wanted to be his dad. What's the ultimate compliment to a father when your son wants to be like you?
Yep.
Whether you like the guy or not, it's a different story. Here's what you do know, what you get with Cuomo. Cuomo wanted those Amazon 25,000 jobs at $150,000 coming to New York City.
Yep.
De Blasio and AOC didn't want it.
Yep.
They left. Cuomo wants the economy in New York to be better. Cuomo wants to help those sides. Yes, we probably are not on the same type politically on a lot of different things. You know what we do know about Mamdani? Here's what we do know with Mamdani. Who did Mamdani just take a picture with, Rob? Can you show this, please? Who did Mamdani just take a picture with?
Iman Siraj Wahaj.
Vinny, can you tell us who that is?
So the guy that he's smiling with, guys, is the same guy the FBI named as an unindicted
Rob,
co-conspirator.
Can you zoom in a little bit more, Rob?
Yeah, on the right guy, the guy on the right.
Yeah.
1993 World Trade bombing. Six people were
in
killed.
In the white cultural garb.
Yeah. Over 1,000 injured, and this is who he's posing with. Last week he was talking shit, sorry for my language, about Cuomo and never going to mosque. That's you, homie. You're there with a freaking guy that was a co-conspirator that killed 6 freaking American New Yorkers and 1,000 other injured. Okay, and it's not taking out of context. All right, he has a long history of extremist rhetoric. He actually called homosexuality a disease, and he preached about punishment under Islamic law. Okay, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Every New Yorker out there, I want that to sink in. If you're a real New Yorker and you're out there and you're like, okay, and you nailed it, Pat. Yeah, Cuomo effed up with the nursing homes and all that other stuff. Okay, we get that. You don't even know what you guys are getting into right now. This is that right there sums up his entire freaking campaign. He knows who that guy is. He's not stupid. That wasn't an accident. He's letting everybody know I'm cool with all these guys. So good for you. Good for you. And I'm happy that came out.
So here's where I'm going. You know what we don't know about Mamdani?
This type of shit.
A lot of things.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And guess what?
Smile.
Guess what's going to happen to New York City?
Oh.
Who do you think loves New York City more?
Cuomo.
Cuomo or Mamdani?
Cuomo.
It's not even
he's
close.
not even from here, Pat.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Who do you think has a richer history that would be willing to do almost anything for that city? Him or Cuomo?
Cuomo.
The betting odds are on Cuomo.
Yes.
But I tell you, Cuomo's got to show up on Wednesday. He's got to show up on Wednesday. In a way, you got to talk to this, not this.
Yep.
Here's where we got to go. We go here, and then couple other things that need to happen as well between now and then. But that's a different. I don't want to announce it publicly, but we'll see what's going to happen. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, you asked the question about who loves New York City more, Zoran Mamdani or Andrew Cuomo. I would say the answer is Curtis Sliwa. I would say he actually loves New York City more. So if I'm Curtis Sliwa, I'm putting myself in his shoes, this whole situation right here about him dropping out of the race, you mean to tell me I start this race, I'm a nobody, I've never finished anywhere near the top of a mayoral race. Yes. All of a sudden, I'm this guardian angel turned this do-gooder in the city. You want me to drop out of the race now after everything I've done? Really? Yes, you should. Because you're the type of person that actually probably cares more about the city than your own personal ambitions. So, you see someone like John Fetterman these days saying, yeah, I'm a Democrat, but I care more about my country than I do my party. I think Curtis Sliwa should get the message where he should care more about his city than he should have his personal ambitions. I believe that Zoran Mamdani has this $1 billion smile, and it is very effective and is very contagious. The problem is with this $1 billion smile, it's going to cost you probably $10 billion of all the people that are moving out of New York City. New York City is going to suffer. And the whole concept that this guy, this communist, Islamist, Mamdani, that this is just sort of like some bug. I can't believe that they're voting for this. This is what New York City wants. This is the feature. This is why they're voting for him. So in my opinion, New York City is in a whole bunch of mess right now. And unless Andrew Cuomo can somehow resonate with the hearts and minds of the young people in New York City, Zoran Mamdani will be your mayor.
Yeah.
I love your point, and I'll give you this last shot because I think it goes right with the story and we can transition on. Who said, I will revive the economy, I will rebuild the armed forces, and I will provide strong leadership if you'll just make me your prime minister, if you'll just do that for me. And he said it to the Italian people in 1922.
Mussolini.
Correct. And they knew nothing about him. He had run this fascist newspaper and he was hidden. And when it came into plain sight and he hired a secret police, started killing people behind it, they didn't know then. And so, you know what? History has got times, and I'm not saying Mondavi's going to start killing people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you don't know enough about who you're voting for, you're putting yourself in
you know what I think,
hands.
PBD, you bring up a good point. You know what I think you would do? And I think this is something that a lot of people who would, if you can remove your ego, he called out Bill Ackman, Curtis Sliwa. I know that Andrew Cuomo has been sort of reconsidering what he should be doing. There should be a sit down with the people who actually love New York City, whether it's Cuomo, whether it's Sliwa, whether it's Ackman, whoever it is, bring in a Rudy Giuliani, whatever it is, and have a conversation of, guys, how can we actually make New York City great again? Because it's about to go the way of London, and let me know how that's working out for the UK.
Yeah, it's crazy you're saying that because you know what movie I just watched over the weekend? I watched Truth and Treason, which is an Angel Studio movie. I didn't know it was Angel, and I went and watched it yesterday. Oh my God.
Really?
What? The story of Helmut Hubner. Let me tell you, Vinny.
It's worth watching.
No, I can't even describe to you what happened at the end of the movie. I was shaken by it.
Oh, okay. Then I'm on to watch it.
Me and Tico are sitting there watching this with my dad. My dad had to walk up like 75 steps because the theater we went into, I felt like I was back in Santa Monica doing 177 steps.
Really?
It was so high. My dad's like, what are you doing to me? And I got letter G. We had to get this lady to get up because she was an E. I'm like, I would replace it with your E, but she went to E. Anyways, we watch this movie. Movie ends. We can't get up. This guy at 17 years old called out Hitler, and he was the youngest guy who stood up against Hitler. And in court, in front of the judge, he calls out the judge because he was the guy that was handing out the pamphlets, these red pamphlets.
The,
these
like
red
propaganda
pamphlets.
stuff? Yeah.
No, for telling him because he got access to a radio, and you couldn't hear what was going on outside of Germany because that controlled the radio. So the people couldn't find out what's going on. Similar to what's going on in China, Cuba, a couple other places. And he starts writing out these pamphlets. They cannot believe it's a 16-year-old kid doing this. He was creating the change in Hamburg.
Wow.
And they're like, there's no way in the world you're doing this. This guy was a Mormon. That's the craziest part.
What?
Yes. He was a Mormon. Latter-day Saints. Oh, wow. It's the weirdest story connection, by the way. And then you know what happens when he's in front of the judge? He stands up. He says, do you have anything? His lawyer says, read this letter, apologize. You'll get 1 year in jail. He gets up. He says, no, you're the problem. Germany's going to lose. You know you're going to lose. You're going to lose. He said, there's this awesome scene. By the way, every actor crushed it, and I knew none of the actors. Oh, wow. I'm telling you, every actor crushed it. I knew none of the actors. I knew none of the actors. He was the youngest kid to be killed at 17 years old. You know how they killed him? Rob, can you pull up how they killed him? Go to his. How did they kill him?
He was executed by beheading.
That's exactly how he was executed. At the age of 17 by the Nazi regime. And he was a Mormon. He wasn't a Jew. He was a Mormon. Because one of his friends that he played with was a Jew. And they heard it. The moral of the story is, right now, America's going through some funny stuff. You know, social, people are confused a little bit, especially younger kids that are on social media. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know the history. By the way, take your kids and go watch this movie with your kids. I'm so glad. I will go back to watch it again with some. If you want to go back, I'm going to go with you and Tico. You know what score Tico gave it? He said, Dad, this is a perfect movie. I can't give it a less than a 10.
Get out of here.
He doesn't give 10s.
Okay, I'm down.
He doesn't give 10s.
I'll wait to watch it.
I'm telling you, this just came out a couple days ago.
I'll wait to watch it.
It could have come out this weekend. What a freaking ridiculous movie.
Yeah,
oh, my God, Vinny.
Okay, I'll watch it with you.
It came out on a great day.
It's the best movie I've seen. It's the best movie I've seen all year. Nothing's even close
PBD,
to it.
I'm not saying this movie. But we've done multiple movies as a company. We've done Air.
This isn't a movie as a
I'm
company
not saying this
thing.
company.
Yeah.
But this movie.
But
maybe we
all
do
I'm saying is,
day.
we'll do that. That's a different story. But the whole thing with New York is so many people in New York City don't know. Look at the score by people and by professionals.
Okay, I'm going to go watch it with you. Oh, wait.
It seriously is a ridiculous movie.
Okay.
Mandate?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll see what's going to happen in New York City. I'm definitely going to be watching a podcast, watching a debate.
Yeah.
I hope it's not none of those shitty NBC debates where they're not going to let him talk. I hope they let him talk. Anyways, let's get to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is Maxwell and Epstein pleaded for Virginia Giuffre to have our baby, prompting teen to hatch escape plan, memoir. Okay. Rob, do you have a clip on this?
I do. This is an old interview because Virginia Giuffre is dead.
Yes.
The book just came out after her death, but this is an interview.
She wrote the book?
She did before she died. Yes. It's her
So
memoirs.
It's her memoir, and then she dies, and then it comes out.
She gets hit by the way, she gets hit by a bus.
I know.
Liv says, I'm not going to kill myself, and then she kills herself. Weird.
But this is an old interview with her where she talks about Jeffrey Epstein wanting her to have his
Go
kid.
ahead, Rob.
From 16 to 19, Virginia was at the mercy of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Entrapped by psychological chains she could not break, until they made this outrageous proposal.
So I spent years with them being manipulated and abused and used, and it wasn't until they told me, I want you to have a baby and we're going to give you an allowance, but we also need you to sign a piece of paper that says this child does not belong to you.
Wow.
And, you know, I wasn't a maternal person back then, but I was like, my womb is not for sale. But you cannot say no to these people. So I said, okay, guys, no problem. But I need to finish off my education like you guys originally promised.
Wow. Okay, so that comes out. Devilish duo Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell pleaded a teenage victim to have our baby, a request that had their victim concerned. They were looking to breed children for their sex trafficking ring to prevent it. The perverted proposal came along. This is a New York Post story,
Yes.
along with promise of round-the-clock nannies, a mansion, and a $200,000 a month allowance. Damn. But Giuffre would have to sign all legal rights to the child over to Epstein. Everything about Epstein and Maxwell Brazen request felt wrong. Giuffre penned in a memoir, Nobody's Girl, there's no way I wanted to bring a child into the world for them to raise. What if the baby were a female? What was the plan? What was the plan for Epstein and Maxwell to have bless you, bring that little girl up until she reached puberty, and then she hand over for them to abuse? Giuffre then 18. That's
oh
intense.
my God! Like she's worried, Pat, that the baby that's how sick this guy was. That she was worried that if the baby came out and was a female, they would traffic their Okay, so her book is called Nobody's Girl. It comes out October 21st. It lays out everything that happened. She claims in the memoir that she was forced into an orgy with Epstein, Prince Andrew, and 8 trafficked girls who appeared to be underage, who barely spoke any English, okay, on the island. She says that night ended with her waking up in a pool of blood and losing her baby. Tom, this is all, by the way, the book comes out on the 21st, like I mentioned. She also revealed that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell approached her about the baby. You guys heard about that. And then, this is where it gets a little crazy. She was ordered to escort a well-known prime minister who the New York Post suggests may have been former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak to a cabana on Epstein's Island in 2002 where she was 18 years old. At least she was of age. I'm not condoning it, but thank God she was of age at least. In her account, he became violent, beating and choking her until she passed out while laughing at her in fear and pain. And she begged Epstein to step in and told her it was part of her job. Like, shut up, this is what you're supposed to do. She described being left bleeding from her mouth and her body days after. Okay, and we all know that there's, Barack acknowledged knowing Epstein. There's photos of him coming out of his apartment in 2016 in New York, Manhattan. Anyway.
So this is the Post, the New York Post newspaper, making the allegation that it was even.
Well, I mean,
wow.
Tom, she has for years said that there's this prime minister, the connection, you could go, by the way, that's all allegedly on your own, but it's like, which other well-known prime minister is it going to be? And then, as for Prince Andrew, Pan, this is weird. Last week.
While you're doing this, Rob, can you pull up which major prime ministers had a relationship with Epstein? You keep going,
sir.
Keep looking for that. Go for it.
And as of Prince Andrew, last week, I'm like, Pat, guys, you have to really take a step back and see when something happens, wait for the other thing to happen. Prince Andrew last week gave up his title as Duke of York. He just came out and he's like, yeah, this is it, right before this book is coming out. You notice that? Think about the timing, all right? He already paid Giuffre an undisclosed settlement in 2022, and now the UK authorities are investigating claims that he told one of his taxpayer-funded police officers to dig up dirt on Giuffre the night before the infamous photo of him and her came out. So think about that. He knows the photo's coming out. He knows he's cooked, so he's hiring people to go after her and get her dirt to make her look like she's bad. That's the type of mentality this guy's coming up. And we already know the royal family, Pat. They're not, right now, it's a little madness. The king has cancer. He's not doing well. His brother is dealing with this.
By the way, Prince William, who's in line for the crown.
Yes.
Wants nothing to do. You can go see it. There's been public statements made and positioning. He, it would appear, is not an ally of his uncle at all.
Zero.
And by the way, the Duke of York, Pat, that title is given to the second in line, the second son in line. So in other words, if it was your family and there was a standard inheritance, Dylan would be Duke of York. That's for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years means you're second in line. And for them to strip him of this is a really big deal. And if William is king, the speculation is he may turn loose the dogs and let Andrew be prosecuted.
Well, because reports are saying that he might. Pat, Tommy might be
that
forced
he's
to
furious about what he's done to the name.
He might evict Prince Andrew from the Windsor Mansion, the Royal Lodge, just to protect what reputation the family has left, okay? And now, to make things worse, there's headlines that are resurfacing that Epstein secretly bankrolled Andrew's ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, for 15 years, funneling her millions after his crimes were public. They knew who Epstein was. They were still taking money, okay? And the royal insiders say that Princess Beatrice and Eugene are devastated and humiliated. And now here's the thing, guys. Isn't it weird? She was the last one that was actually, there's other victims, but she was the most prominent voice. She gets hit by a bus. She says that she doesn't want to kill herself. And then at 41 years old, guys, they kill herself. And then fast forward to Pam Bondi and all these freaking Cash Patels. No, there's videos. There's no videos. He was sex trafficking people to himself. I think it's horseshit. And it's still, and I'm so happy that they're still bringing it up. The stories are still coming out.
New York Post.
I love that they did that.
By the way, you know who owns New York Post?
Who?
News Corp.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I think they do.
But I think it's, and again, guys, with Gaza, with the world, with no kings, with everything, we have to always come back, and we're never going to stop talking about it. These people are disgusting. The level of their blackmail, what they were doing. Look now, but God rest her soul. She's dead, but her memoir is still coming out. The story is still going to come out, and hopefully there's enough things to keep this freaking thing going so that these people get held accountable. Okay? He's still, what? This
is good.
I love it.
This is good that this is happening. Rob, do me a favor. There's another story about Leon Black. I don't know if you saw this or not. So Leon Black, Rob, if you just type in Leon Black and Epstein on Google, look what comes up. Just type in Leon Black and Epstein on Google and look what comes up. So Leon Black and Epstein, he had given him, to me on the AI review at the top, Leon Black's a private equity investor who paid $158 million to Epstein and resigned from his roles at Apollo Global Management and the Museum of Modern Art following the revelation of their connection. Black had also contributed a letter to Epstein's 2025 birthday book, a collection of letters and notes that released publicly later that year. So why would somebody pay $158 million? I think it ended up being $170 million. Look what it says for purported tax and estate planning advice, according to a 2025 report. That's a lot of money to be paid for that. Then messages comes out. Rob, if you want to go to those messages. This is an email excerpt from Epstein to Leon Black. I never want to have any more uncomfortable moments with you. I find it very distasteful. So to be clear, my terms are as follows. I will only work for the usual $40 million per year. It needs to be paid $25 million upon signing an agreement, $5 million every 2 months thereafter for 6 months, March, May, June. This can begin if I'm able in January. I will immediately stop work if the payment is not received. Go to the next one. At least for a few weeks, I am unable to commit much time and make any future plans to guide you in the redoing of your procrastination-produced mess. What does that mean? That being said, the tasks at hand are the following. You have a bomb of color string that your retarded children have formed. Is that really what it says?
Yeah. Yep.
It has to be very carefully unwound. Go to the next one, Rob.
Those are the only two that I could find. And then this is a flight log, but it has Walter Cronkite on it.
So what?
Weird.
Wait, what?
Walter Cronkite flew there to Epstein Island.
To the island in 2007.
That just came out
He's
on
an
Friday.
island
So this is who else is on that list? Lance Galloway, Igor Zinoviev,
who's JP?
John
Emmerling.
Does anybody know who JP is, Rob, or no?
No, I have not seen
maybe
it.
Pope
JP.
John Paul? I hope it's not.
No, maybe it's somebody from JP Morgan.
Walter Cronkite went to Epstein Island?
Yep.
What's the date?
January 12th, 2007. So this is the year after Epstein was prosecuted here in Florida for the sex trafficking of minors.
When did he die?
Walter
I
Cronkite?
thought he died a long time ago.
What, 16, Rob?
No.
Walter Cronkite?
2009.
9.
So he went when he was how old?
90 years old.
So he went at 90 years old, he went to the Epstein Island?
Yep.
He turned 90 years old in November of 2006. He would have been approaching his 91st birthday.
Why would he at 90 years old go to the Epstein Island?
One last hoorah.
The broadcaster and journalist once called the most trusted man in America, Walter Cronkite, appears in a newly released Epstein flight logs. There was appeared in the documents. Also in the logs were Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Richard Branson. The documents did not suggest wrongdoing for Cronkite or any of the names listed, but it does reveal the scopes of Epstein's network go a little bit lower. The flight logs show the 91-year Cronkite boarded a flight in depths of winter January. Took place from Newark, New Jersey to St. Thomas in U.S. Virgin Islands. Cronkite was among 8 passengers on board, including Jeffrey Epstein, who was likely hosting the group at one of the 2 private islands, Little James and St. The logs were released as part of the broader package, which also included a transcript. Alex Acosta, the former. During this testimony, Acosta defended his actions, citing challenges. Many victims refused to testify. Many victims have changing stories. He told investigators, explaining that some of his decision makers were, what?
Doesn't make
91 years old? Go a little bit lower. 91 years old.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen Hawking would go too. And I mean, how many times is that guy there?
Remember, part of the scam was the foundation stuff, right? So
Yeah,
was
but-
it possible that Cronkite was over there as this very old man who would have the stroke or whatever happened to him and pass away a year later? Was this part of foundation?
But Tom, once you know somebody is a convicted pedophile,
at that point, would he know?
He would have to know. It happened
Wait,
in 2006.
when was the sweetheart deal?
The sweetheart deal was 2006, I believe. 2005 or 2006, Rob?
He was arrested July
2006.
23rd, 2006.
Yeah,
So this is
everybody knew he was arrested.
5 or 6 months later is when Walter Cronkite.
And Tom, let's just be honest, especially in this heat and everything.
It doesn't look
the
good.
Island, this is when the island was in full swing. Everybody, you know, even if you don't know, once you get there, you know exactly what's happening there. Even if you listen to Howard Lutnick and stuff, how disgusting he was in his apartment in New York. Think about what he was when he was here on an island in a different freaking country to do whatever the hell he wants, Tom. All these people, it's all a big web, and they were all connected, Tom. Everybody knew what the hell was going on.
So
Everybody.
there's a story here that says, so based on that letter back and forth, on other occasions, Epstein appears to have emphasized that he didn't feel the financial dealings with Black to be the sum of their relationship. Of course, any financial issues, I'm always there for you and will continue to be the best friend I can be, he reportedly put it. The Times report suggests that Epstein introduced Leon Black to a number of young women over the years, some of whom would later accuse Black of sexual abuse. Citing court documents and notes taken by congressional investigators, the newspaper identifies one of those women as Cherry Pearson, whom Epstein had at one time paid for massage services. Can you go to Cherry Pearson, Cheri? Pearson is P-I-E-R. You got it right there, Epstein. That's Cherry Pearson. Go back on where you were at, Rob, and go to the first story, New York Times, from 2 days ago.
You've been blocked, Rob.
New York Times doesn't like you.
You're a
on another
robot.
occasion, Epstein is understood to have advised Black on payments of $10 million to another woman. Wow, advised him to pay $10 million to another woman. Guzi Janivera, after she accused Black of sexual assault. Black had reportedly acknowledged having an extramarital affair with her, but denied assaulting her. Congressional investigators had apparently also raised concerns of millions of dollars paid by Black to at least 8 women who were later listed amongst Epstein's associated and victims. Okay, so then there's a connection here because Black has apparently declined to comment on the reasons for those payments. Epstein case has returned to center stage since back in Justice Department of 2019. Those findings flew in virtual. Yeah, this is not good with Leon Black because if there's 8 other girls that Leon Black had to pay off and they're the same 8 girls tied to Epstein, you already know where this $158 million is. I mean, it's no longer a question.
Yes.
Of what happened there. Rob, this the letter he wrote to him?
Yes, this was in Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book. This is the letter that Leon Black allegedly wrote to him.
A VFPC, do we know what that is? A very fine VFPC is something to
Vanity Fair poster child.
Is something to see a liver, a lover, a Jeffrey. Let's all give a cheer for today. He's 50. 5 decades or half a century by birds and by bucks. C's and M's are his key. Blonde, red, brunette, spread out geographically.
Wow.
With his net of fish. Jeff's now the old man and the sea.
Hemingway reference.
Teaching math, trading options or foreign currency, green eye shades, schemes and plans, a unique tax strategy, wet dream, and caviar. No, chevaux.
Tax strategy.
Chevron architects.
I don't know what that word is.
I didn't even, yeah.
And architects, Wild Spree, Moscow, Paris, Santa Fe.
Santa Fe, the other ranch.
Alhambra, East Jamboree. Go to the other side. Letter Robert, let's finish this. So this is Leon Black to him. Maxwellian Delight, a mother's treasure, great joy, most surely Harvardian patron, brain researcher for extending wannabe, outrageous, iconoclastic, unconventional, spirit-free, best of all, a dear friend. Happy birthday, Jeffrey.
How many codes and how much crap is in there where you guys, that's between them, and it's like weird.
And this word right here, I believe it's Kolchamar. It's another term for nightmare.
Kolchamar.
So wet dreams and nightmares.
Weird that they, yeah.
Yikes.
All right, what a great love letter. I mean, look, there you have it.
Love. He said love and kisses.
Well,
Vanity Fair poster child. Vanity Fair poster child.
Interesting. So this is Leon Black's letter to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
On his 50th birthday. Here's my question.
They made a
PBD.
birthday book and everybody put creative letters.
And that's
very
where Donald Trump allegedly drew that picture. Here's my question.
Wow.
You know, Vinny's done a lot more research on the Virginia Gouffre thing. Leon Black, for example. So it seems like a shakedown. And I'll tell you why. In this letter, he says, we're going to have a really dangerous mess. I find it very distasteful that you have not paid me the terms of my money. So to make it clear, my terms are as follows. I will only work for the usual $40 million a year.
Jeez.
Okay. Anyone who's ever invested money or has some AUM, assets under management, does wealth planning, estate planning, legacy planning, philanthropic planning, tax advisory, whatever it is, it's usually a percentage of the money you're managing. In any capacity, has your Goldman Sachs person, I deal with Fidelity or Vanguard, Tom, I'm sure you have a money manager, have they ever said, pay me my freaking money or else? And it's $40 million or it's $4 million or we're going to have a big, big problem. Had they ever said that? Because if someone ever said that was handling your money, you'd say, thank you, I'm going to go look elsewhere. The fact that Leon Black just was like, okay, my bad, my stupid retarded children, I'll deal with them, and then allegedly ponied up the money, shows me at the very least there's something going on here below the surface. We know that.
Adam, JP Morgan settled. If we're going big in money, they settled the case for $75 million in 2023 and then another $290 million to settle with Epstein's victims.
But
and by the way, the JP Morgan position was, we don't want to talk about it anymore. This guy's gone. He's no longer our client.
Here's the
Tell
money.
you what, we'll settle for this. Everybody shut up.
Which goes to my point is essentially everyone thinks that it's like big sex trafficking ring and this sort of prostitution ring and this underage thing. I think that's obviously a component. There's no doubt about that.
A big component.
To me, the bigger component is the money. When you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars, follow the money. I get that everybody is obsessed with the kids and the sexual deviancy. I get it. But to me, this island was a sort of like a hand-washing, hand-wringing money movement thing. And then that was sort of like a feature
but how do you make sure,
at the island.
But how do you make sure, Adam, with those hundreds of millions of dollars, that the person pays up? That, to me, sounds like, hey, listen.
It was a component, no doubt.
Don't F around.
But it's all about the money.
Because guess what? I have a freaking hard drive that has all you people on it.
Yeah.
By the way, you think that you know that room that you were in with the girl that was a secret room that I told you go into? There was 3 cameras in there. By the way, open your email. I'm sending you footage in an encrypted account. No, bro, I'm telling you right now, to have that type of leverage and that type of power, Adam, those little kids, and I know, I'm not saying you're brushing it off. I know that you're saying it's a component. That's the main component, bro. Blackmail, that's how you talk. Adam, you know how you talk to a billionaire when you're not a billionaire? When you have leverage on them like that. Do this. $5 million every 2 months. He even says, i.e. March, May, June. Pay up.
But the Walter Cronkite thing is actually an example of what I'm talking about here. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I don't think 90-year-old Walter Cronkite is getting on a flight to be like, what? There's young chicks there? I'm on my way, bro. To me, it's the money. It's the philanthropy. It's whatever the big business is. And they're using these things as sort of like... Or to treat kids,
or
whatever.
You ready for this? Hey,
chicks,
Walter, you're going to die
sort
in
of like,
6 months. I got some young girl for you. That could be another one.
That's how a 90-year-old guy thinks, though, bro.
Adam, demons like that, that's how they
Walter
live.
Cronkite is a demon now?
No, I'm just saying people that are disgusting and like sleeping with underage girls, like all this allegedly stuff that's coming.
The great Walter Cronkite
Adam,
was ever involved in any of that.
Let me ask a simple question.
Yeah.
By the way, can you ask a question of this on the poll? And it's a very straight up question. Now, I don't want you to answer it.
I'm not.
Let's wait 1 minute to see how the poll answers. Okay. Gang, Rob, the question is, what percentage of people that went to the Epstein Island do you believe had sex with an underage girl?
Great question.
Okay. What percentage? So put it, Rob, if you could, what range should we make it? Let's make the range. Put one category 50% plus. Put another category 25 to 49%. Put another category 10 to 24%. And then the other category 0 to 9%. Put those four categories if you can. Okay. I want you to think about the answer, Tom. Is it 50% plus, 25 to 49%, 10 to 24%, or less than 9%? That if you went there, you did this. Give a minute, Rob. If you posted the poll already, let's kind of see if people are already voting. I don't know if you already have it up or not.
I do.
If you already do, let's see how this vote is doing, okay? I'm actually curious. Oh, wow. Okay, don't look. Adam, don't look up. What's your number?
For the 50 plus
Do you think, is it, you have four options to vote for.
Yes.
50% plus who went
80%.
there has, you're at 80%?
80% of that one. Like, meaning, I think.
No, but just think about it this way.
Yeah.
Do you believe 50% plus?
100, yes.
So that's where you are.
Yes.
Tom, where are you at? You put 9%. So you put less. So 1 out of 10 did. So some of them just spent less.
The heavy hitters that he needed to then lever the whole machine.
Yeah, I'm closer to Tom's number than Vinny's number all day.
Can we see what it shows, Rob?
Less than 20%.
What did people show? 64% said 50
You guys on the
plus
4%. You guys on the 4%. That's not a problem.
25. Wow. 3,000 people voted. I don't know, Vinny. I don't know if, because to be 50%.
That's crazy.
Okay, so say you're doing the event, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. In sales, nobody has a 100% closing ratio.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? Like, there's nobody that the best sales guys I know, they're 50%, and that's high.
Yeah.
Right? So, which means is you originally invite guys over, okay? They come in, and then you convert them. So there's different categories of this. Guys who come in, then you tell a girl to go flirt with that guy. Then they go to a room. The guy thinks she's 18. Mm-hmm. The guy has sex with her. Then he comes back and says, by the way, you just had sex with a 16-year-old. You need to give me $10 million. That's option one.
Yeah.
Option two is guy comes in the first time, didn't know. He knows you're successful, and he's coming in because he wants to network with people. Then it was offered. Then he's like, I'll never come back again. I'm out. I made a mistake coming to the island. You're with me so far for the two options.
Yep.
Then number three is you went to the island. You know what happened. You told your friends. Your friends went. Your friends know what's going to be happening on that island. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that one made sense or not.
Of course.
So what else would you add aside from those three, Rob? Did you see what I just said three of them. The first one, you're going, you didn't know was underage. You went in. He's like, hey, guess what?
She's hot.
She's 16.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Now you owe me $50 million.
Yeah.
Number two is you went, you saw what was going on, you turned it down, you left. I'll never want to be back here again. And then number three is friends are bringing friends. They already know what's going to be happening.
And the number two option, you're already on the island. So he's like, you're already kind of screwed because you're here.
But you could be, listen, man, I was in a car with a lot of, drugs and stuff. And the moment I find that, I'm like, dude, I'm getting the hell out of here. I was a young kid. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've been in places where I was a fight breaks out. Everybody had guns and stuff. And then I'm 14, 15 years old. I'm like, dude, I made a mistake being here. I'm not ever going to be in this Cadillac again. Do you understand what I'm
100%.
saying? You've been in those situations. We've all been in those types of situations. All I'm saying is, I'd be curious to know what the percentage is of people that went in who were B-backs, who brought friends.
That were already compromised? Were they compromised?
If I was in charge of this investigation, if they put me on there, I would get the Excel spreadsheet and I would bring a couple business analysts with me and I would say, here's what I want you to do. Make a list of all the B-backs. Here's the B-backs. If you came back the second time around, you're in the 100%, 99% category for me. Because you're a B-back.
Yeah.
You know what a B-back is. You went, you know what's going on, you came back again. So to me, I want to first look at all the people that only went once because I can filter those guys out. The one-timers are like, all right, 80% chance they didn't do anything. They went back. 20% may have done it like, I never want to go back again. So let's go talk to the 80%ers that are still alive. But you can do basic data analytics with this to see patterns. It's not hard to see patterns with this kind of stuff. My opinion, I see a pattern here Man, I'd love to have access. I'd love to be on the inside right now. Just give me a couple.
It's very interesting to me, and this is actually telling of what's actually going on. Vinny said that there's an 80% chance that
anybody that went did
80%, where Tom said 9%.
Yeah, Tom's in the 4%.
Tom's the words talk, numbers scream. Vinny's the scream guy. I would love you guys to come to an agreement of why Tom is so low and you are so high, because that to me is the crux of the conversation. Of Vinny is very believe me, it's a percentage. I don't know if it's 1% or 99%. I'm closer to Tom. But explain. I would love for you guys to take 30 seconds to explain why you think your position is right.
I'll give you my 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
You only need. Look at the chessboard. You don't need the pawns. You get 2 knights, 2 bishops, and a rook, and you don't even need the queen. You have several of the key pieces to continue what he was doing, raising all the money, spending all the money, doing all that. There was a reason he was doing all this. Was he Mossad? Was he a CIA asset? A lot of people are pointing to that. And if that's what he was doing, all you need is the big chess pieces. That's why I think it's like 9%.
I think it's 50% or plus, because I think everybody knew exactly who he was. Everybody knew that you could come to this island and do whatever you want, and nobody. Did you think any of them thought, number one, they were being recorded, or number two, they're on an island in the Virgin Islands if they were ever going to get caught? Let me tell you what. And I believe in evil. And you're the one that got me. Tom, you talked to me about, and I know I've said this before in the podcast, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. In my heart of hearts as a Christian, believe it's beyond that. When I say demons, Adam, and I mean that sincerely. Either they're working for the devil, they don't even know that they are. They're sleeping with underage girls.
Can I ask you a question? Check this out, Tom. I just thought about something.
Yeah.
So if you've seen the Epstein documentary and the Ghislaine documentary,
I watched them both because of you.
So that when they would keep coming back, the girl, and then the one girl's like, "What did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. Well, you brought 25 girls here, but I didn't do anything. He was paying me $200 per girl. You brought underage girls here." The girl got in trouble, went to jail. I don't know what happened for trafficking, right? Okay. Crazy question for you. How many, say a very powerful player showed up?
Okay. Big.
Very powerful. Pick it, like Leon Black, guys like this, like Andrew, any of these guys. How many of them went in and they're like, Jeff said, "Hey, I will forgive you of the $10 million fee you pay me this year if you're able to get XYZ here on the island and we get them locked in." And then we'll split the commission together.
I think that happened a lot, Pat.
Did you understand what I just said?
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm asking? So, for example, hey,
great question.
Jeff, I can't pay anything, man. This is ridiculous. I'm running a business. I'm paper rich. I'm not cash rich. No problem. You bring 3 guys here. We get them on camera. I will waive your fee.
Wow. Oh.
And here's a list of names. I know you're friends with them.
Oh, man.
And then the guy is like, "Hey, man, Bill, what are you doing?" Wow. Skullman, I was there. It's nothing. It's great. Don't believe any of this stuff. It's a great time. Then you go in. Then you get them. Then there's a meeting. You've been waived. Guess what? $200 million, $100 million, $20 million, and I'll give you $5 million for.
Wow! How much of that do I believe?
I don't know if it happened, but the more I'm thinking about the business model,
that's him. That's how he would think like that. That's who he is. You see those texts, Matt? That's a great question. I believe, of course, even on paper, hey, listen, I've given you enough. I can't, Leon Black. Look how obvious that is. Bring me at least one other big ass name, and you're good. I'm done with you.
Which is basically the whole premise, that it's a blackmailing business operation, and the women are just sort of ancillary to help the cause. To me, it's a little far-fetched. You think everybody that goes there is a pedophile.
But I didn't say everybody.
To me, that is so extreme.
Adam, if I hang out with
I would volunteer pro bono. I would sign any of the stuff that I need to sign, but allow me to do my job. It's the only thing I ask. I will sign a clearance, but allow me to do my job. And I want to bring a couple analysts that they will also sign things off. I just want to look through the data to see the B-backs, the one-timers. They have all that data to look at patterns. Because we would be able to find out the best customers, and we'd be able to find out and maybe some of this stuff is already public, that somebody independently can do this as well. Who knows? Anyways. All right, let's go to the next story here. So while this is taking place, Elon Musk has turned his eye to the UK. Okay, Elon Musk has turned his eye to the UK I'm going to go to the story, Adam. I'm coming to you first.
Yes, sir.
So Elon Musk, Tommy Robinson. There's some going on there. Elon Musk loves responding to posts on X with heart emojis. He sent dozens this year alone, often in response to people praising his cars or directly to his mother's posts. But this week, Musk sent a heart emoji to Tommy Robinson, the far-right Islamophobic activist. But this is a Wired article from the UK. Though Musk largely ignored UK politics this year while working in the U.S. government as his so-called Doge, he appears to be back across the pond spending his money and using his platform to elevate far-right extremists. A huge thank you to Elon Musk today, legend. Robinson wrote on Monday following the first day of his 2-day trial for a charge-related counterterrorism law at Westminster Court in London. Robinson claimed that this week that Musk had funded his defense. Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, was charged under the Terrorism Act after he refused to give police access to his cell phone in July 2024 while trying to leave the UK. Prosecutor Joe Morris told the judge this week the police believed there may be information relevant to acts of terrorism on the phone at the time. Robinson has pleaded not guilty and claimed the stop was unlawful. A decision in the case is due next month. In a video posted on X after his trial this week, Robinson said Musk has agreed to fund his defense. Adam.
Well, I believe that Elon Musk is doing a great service to help Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is a guy who I think is so necessary. So necessary because he's calling out the truth of what's going on in the UK, and it is worse than we actually possibly think. I'm actually at a dinner 2 weeks ago, and I'm sitting next to a very famous guy, former NBA player, very famous. You would know the name, and his wife, soon to be newly mother, and she's British and he's American, and we're having a conversation. And I'm saying, what's going on in the UK? She's like, what do you mean? Everything's going great. I'm like, this was like right after the big 1 million man protest that Tommy Robinson put out there. She's like, everything's going great. No big deal. I said, everything's going great. What are you talking about? And it was a classic case where the husband did not want to upset his wife. She's pregnant, God bless. But here I am being like, yeah, I don't know. And my friend sitting next, he's like, dude, she's pregnant. No.
Okay.
I'll tell you after. But it's so funny because he's agreeing with me, but he's whispering. He's like, no, bro, just tell her what's going on. I don't want to tell her, She's like, no, in the UK, Tommy Robinson is racist and he's an Islamophobic. And I'm like, but is he wrong? Because I see what's going on there. The most common baby name is Muhammad. They're calling for jihad on the streets. Every single part of Birmingham and all these cities in the UK, they're all going Muslim. And to me, the biggest problem is the hypocrisy because they can't do that in the Middle East. The Christians can't come in and start converting people. Like the hypocrisy, the double standard. I have no problem with it, but it's a two-way street. She's like, no, I don't care what you say. And he comes up to me after dinner. He's like, thank you for saying what I've been thinking, but I don't want to upset my wife. And it just goes to show she's full emotion, no logic, and he's completely illogical and he doesn't want to speak up. Tommy Robinson is speaking up on behalf of all Brits, and thank God he has someone like Elon Musk with deep, deep, deep pockets to fund his case, or this guy would probably be in jail. No. To me, Tommy Robinson, please stay safe. Please get security. Please get people all around you.
The money to get security.
Because
hopefully,
you are very necessary, sir.
Well, good for you for doing what you're doing. So keep at it, Tommy. And by the way, if some of you guys want to Manek Tommy while you can to support him, he's actually on Manek Rob. If you want to kind of show, I don't know if we have Tommy Robinson's Manek or not, a QR code. If not, put the link below. Go Manek him. He actually responds back.
Yeah.
And you can ask him any questions or support him. He's on Manek. Maybe leave his handle in the comment section, Rob, so people can go respond to him.
And there's one more element here. I don't know if you guys want these guys. The whole free speech component. These guys, respect to you. I don't know if I can find this breakdown. He goes, what country do you think has arrested the most people in the last 5 years for free speech? And they start going like Belarus is pretty bad and Russia's even worse. And obviously we know about North Korea and Iran. But he goes, top of the list, United Kingdom. It's like 4,000 something arrests, some ridiculous number compared to every other country, which just goes to show that UK is going down the path of woke, progressive ideology, liberalism mixed with jihadism, where anything critical will land you in jail. We've seen these calls, we've seen these situations, and say what you want about Elon Musk, great protector of freedom of speech because of X.
That's great. Yeah. Let's go to the next story. The next story is Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner sit down with Leslie Stahl, 60 Minutes. Phenomenal interview, must watch. I watched the first 15 minutes and 39 seconds, couple clips that are very revealing. Leslie starts off right off the bat. You can tell it's intense. But Kushner and Witkoff, very, very stable. The two stories that was told, which was very interesting, one of them was when she asked about what happened with the president and Netanyahu when Israel attacked Qatar, and it was problematic. And in that response, Rob, I don't know if you have that clip. Is this the clip specific to Netanyahu? Is this the one?
This is where they talk about the Israeli strike during the peace.
Okay,
deal.
this is the one. This is the one. Go for it. Can't hear Rob. We cannot hear, guys.
Still can't hear it.
Hold on one second.
I hear like a feedback, like a buzzing.
Nope, it's a clip. Here, I also have this. This is where they talk about the death that Vinny had mentioned.
No, go to the other one. I want to go to the other one. Rob, the other one is on 12:30. Just go to 12:30. Yeah, I have it at 12:30. There you go. Go for it. Can you raise the volume?
Low.
Guys, can we raise the volume?
Oh, no, well, we're getting a lot of feedback, Rob. Yeah, something's making noise.
I have full volume here. I don't know why it's not coming all the way through. But that's on YouTube, too.
Rob, so do me a favor. Is this when we show CBS clips where they do things? Is CBS the one that typically is not happy about things that you show?
Yeah, 60 Minutes is kind of an issue for us.
Okay, so then that's what we'll do. So let me tell you what happened. So part of it was that they used the word, they said, did the president force him to apologize? They said, no, he didn't force him. You sure it wasn't forced? No, he says that's what you call diplomacy. And Jared says that with a smile on his face, right? There's a smile on his face when he's saying that. And then the other part is when there's an exchange and they're talking about, Vinny, maybe you tell this part of the story where Witkoff is sitting there talking to one of the Hamas leaders.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, and by the way, it was a fantastic interview by both of them. He's sitting there, and Witkoff says they walk into the room in the Qatar. So it's the Hamas negotiator, I guess. Well, I mean, if they trust him enough, I don't know what his involvement is, Pat. Like what his level of Hamas, if he's in Hamas. But there was a moment where he reveals that during Israel's attack in Qatar, that this negotiator's son was killed in the attack. And then he had a moment with him. Yeah, that's the guy's name right there, Rob. What's his name?
It doesn't say his name. That's just the photo
But that's
of
who
him.
he is. That's who he is. So then they had a moment because Steve Witkoff, had a moment because he goes, we share something in common. My son, at 22 years old, died of an opioid overdose. And even Jared Kushner says there was a moment. He goes, I wish that there was a camera in the room to capture such a human moment, which actually made them connect. And then he's saying at the end of this negotiation, people in the room were hugging each other. Like it was a moment of like, finally, we did it. And it's over. We're going to get the hostages back, and there was a peace. So there was a great moment. But then, Pat, going back to what he said Trump felt that the Israelis were getting a little bit out of control, said Kushner. It was time to be very strong and stop them from doing things that he felt were not in their long-term interest. And that's what he was saying.
Gotta love it. By the way, and how do you feel now, Vinny, about where Kushner and Witkoff are at? What is your feeling about Kushner and Witkoff?
And again, Pat, all we do, because I didn't really do the research of who Witkoff was. I know Kushner, especially with Ivanka, they weren't going to be involved with the thing, with the whole administration. But now that it's coming back, now that I'm seeing at least the diplomacy, at least like, bro, they're going to talk to these guys to try to make peace, and then still having the decency to call out Israel, still calling out Bibi Netanyahu when it's wrong. Like for him to say, it felt, because when he's saying Israelis, he's basically saying Bibi was getting a little out of control. He goes, it's time to be very strong and stop. Like, bro, you got to stop. Like Trump is over here busting his ass, trying to get a peace deal, and you're doing this. For them to say that, big props.
By the way, on the podcast, we talked about it. If you remember when I said, what is the likelihood that Trump forced him to apologize? I think everybody here said 100%.
Yep.
If you remember that,
yes.
Right? Well, of course, he's going to say, what are you doing? You want me to go negotiate a peace deal for you, but you're doing something like this and getting in the way? Rob, what is this here? Is this they're giving the update on a phase 2?
This is Fox News yesterday reporting that Witkoff and Vance are heading to Israel for phase 2 of the summit.
Go for it.
Phase 2 of this ceasefire agreement, of this peace deal, was always going to be the bigger challenge.
Something with audio, Rob.
Vice President J.D. Vance was optimistic last week that the ceasefire agreement was the beginning of what he suggested was a new chapter.
You can pause it. You can pause it right there. Okay, so what are your thoughts, Tom, when you're hearing this? What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, it feels like Jared Kushner is 4 years wiser. It feels like the administration is 4 years wiser. And Witkoff feels like a very steady hand in these things. And it feels like this was a, see, there's two types of deal teams. One type of deal team is they know that they sell the heroin and you need heroin because you're an addict. And there's nothing to it. The other type of deal, by the way, it happens in business too. You know, you get held up by key suppliers and things like this. The other type in the deal team is you really are trying to, as a very famous book says, getting to yes, and working through concessions that are necessary and things that make sense. Not getting to yes at any cost, but getting to yes at the costs that are acceptable for the betterment of all people. And Jared Kushner said something that I thought was very, very strong, where he said, we thought the Israelis were doing things that were not in their own best interest long term. Yep. And part about being an intermediator here is like, look, I know you're going to say to the end of time, you were attacked on October 7th, you know, Hamas bad, you're bombing them back to the Stone Age. I get it. But you're doing some of these other things that aren't going to help you what you want, which is to get peace here and to figure this out. And so I was impressed by what appears to be a very steady hand in Witkoff, and what a constant reminder of what we had with Anthony Blinken. And how different this is now.
Day and night.
That when you have the right guy on your team, and so I think that Trump's got the right team together, and I think it really feels like Jared Kushner is 4 years wiser. I don't mean that he was you know, uninformed or you know, incapable 4 years ago. I mean, he's got 4 more years of experience in the machine and out there with
Adam,
these
where are you at
deals.
with this?
That's where I'm at.
So everything comes down to let's make a deal. And this is why Trump is so important, because as much as we always heard that, like, we want a businessman in the office, we want a businessman in the office, we can't have just a normal politician. There's some credibility to that. Because if we haven't learned anything, everything is about let's make a deal. Whether it's a peace deal, whether it's a trade deal, whether it's a tariff deal, whether it's a hostage deal. The whole reason that Trump was able to manufacture this deal, because he used leverage on each one of these countries to say, Turkey, you want this. Qatar, you want this. Egypt wants this. Jordan wants this. Let's forget the fact that, you know, Egypt, you have a huge, massive wall keeping out the Gazans. But let's not focus on that. Jordanians, you want nothing to do with the Gazans. All right, cool. Qatar, what do you want? So he uses this envoy of Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, incredibly capable guys. Are you freaking kidding me what these guys were able to do? And they didn't stop until they made a deal. Now, to me, Qatar is the linchpin here, because Qatar basically marries oil and wealth and just richness with jihad sympathizing and a home base for Hamas. So to me, is Qatar guilty of sending money elsewhere, sowing discord, doing all these horrible things? At the same time, I can also recognize that they're going to need Qatar to actually talk with the terrorists to bring back the hostages, which they were able to do. So in this instance, what they were upset was they said, dude, you just blew up whatever you did in Qatar. We need them to come to the table.
Yeah.
Whereas Bibi Netanyahu is basically saying, we're getting attacked from Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Syria, left, right, center. These guys are harboring terrorists. We're going to take them out. And sometimes you need someone like a Kushner or a Witkoff who's on sort of Team Israel side saying, guys, that is sort of cutting off your nose to spite your face because we need their help. Now, it's sort of like a frenemy is how I would label Qatar. They're not a full ally, but they're definitely not an enemy. And we need them to bring brought to the fold to help bring GDP, not GDT, gross domestic terrorism to the Middle East.
Did you guys? But I called that. I don't think the peace deal was going to last that long because Israel struck yesterday. Did you guys know that? Yesterday and the day before, Tom and Rafah, they struck Gaza and temporarily halted aid, saying Hamas broke the truce. So both sides were pointing fingers.
But you're leaving out the initial part of the story, though, Vin.
No, I'm not leaving out. You didn't, Adam.
The whole point is 2 Israeli soldiers were killed, and they retaliated.
So are you ready for this? I'm happy that you said that. If you let me say my whole point. Israel, both sides are pointing fingers. Israel saying Hamas killed 2 of its soldiers. They came out of the tunnel or something. Hamas is saying that a bulldozer was driving and drove over ordnance and it blew up. Okay? So, Adam, which gets to my point. Whatever version is, whoever's telling the truth, whatever it is, it proves one thing. There's never going to be peace there as long as Hamas is still around. Okay, they allowed them to stay. I get the peace deal, and we got the hostages back, right? Why would you ever negotiate with terrorists at this point? Once they got the terrorist pact, this is my opinion, they should have gone full offensive, flood the tunnels, bunker buster, kill all of Hamas, root and stem. But they didn't, and they let them. By the way, didn't they release like 1,200 people, or 600 of them might have been prisoners, terrorists? It's like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense, Adam. Releasing terrorists and then acting surprised when they do terrorist things again is like tossing a shark in a swimming pool and then expecting him, hoping that he turns into a vegetarian. It's not going to happen.
To Adam and Vinny, do we know which is which? I saw stories that went both ways that say that a small squad came out from underground and the Israeli soldiers were killed. And then I saw stories that said it was a bulldozer, and even the U.S. knew it was a bulldozer. But I haven't seen any definitive write-up by a reliable news source that has said exactly what was what. Either one of you seen that?
Not definitive, Tom. I saw something that was reporting, I'll send it to Rob, the guy's name, that something had to do with the Pentagon, saying that it might have been an unexploded ordnance from Israel that they drove over. But my point is going back to this, Adam, and I want to know your opinion really fast. I know Pat wants to go another story. You're leaving terrorists there. You negotiated. You got what you wanted. We got all the hostages back. Why not kill every single Hamas, go on full offensive? I know they're Lebanon, they're doing stuff everywhere else, and I get that. Right now, you have the opportunity to wipe them the hell out. You got exactly what you wanted back. Flood the tunnels, bunker buster, kill the terror, just like Trump killed ISIS. You never hear ISIS. Done. Wipe them out. Because now it's almost, you're just leaving an enemy hanging around there. Like, well, I don't understand.
Can I give you my quick answer? I'll do it in 30 seconds or less. Because Israel actually doesn't want to do a genocide. And that's the whole conversation. Why aren't they going after the terrorists? Because the terrorists are embedded within the civilians. So the whole notion that they want to commit genocide, if they wanted to do that, they would just wipe out the whole country.
Adam, but it's flat.
But that's the whole thing.
It's gone. Go in the tunnels.
Yeah, they're in the tunnels. The people are living in this squalor. Yeah, listen, Israel has gone out of their way to go door to door to door to door to find the hostages. Now that they have the hostages back, yeah, they maybe need to take a little bit more of a presumptuous, aggressive stance. But to me, the moral equivalency is so ridiculous. The fact that whose side did it, only one side is lining up their own people in a firing squad and murdering them.
And why is that?
Whereas the other side is doing anything in their possibility to go get their hostages back.
Adam, because they let
To me, the moral
terrorists
equivalency
alive.
is so stupid and unfounded that only morons can't see the difference between Hamas and the IDF.
Adam,
And unfortunately, we have so many morons who don't understand that equivalency. They're the ones calling Bibi Netanyahu Hitler. They're the same ones calling Trump a fascist and Hitler. To me, it's so stupid.
But you understand where
that
I'm
the
coming
people
from?
who are doing the Hamas defending and the people who are actually Hamas are the one in the wrong here.
But you understand what I'm saying, Adam? Kill the... Like, you know why Hamas is shooting Palestinians in the street right now? Because Israel let Hamas thrive. They said, go ahead. We're going to let... all the people that were holding hostages...
So your solution is what? More murdering?
No, more murdering of what? Killing Hamas? Yes, Adam.
Okay, cool.
Because as long as Hamas is there, terrorism is going to happen.
Well, you sound like a pro-Israel guy, Vinny.
Kill Hamas.
You sound like the most right-wing pro-Israel guy at this point.
I'm saying
So you
kill
gotta
the
pick a
terrorists.
side.
Kill terrorists. Bingo.
Oh, kill
them all.
terrorists? Okay, that's a
Not
good idea.
release them
I
back
agree
and
with
say,
you.
oh my God, terrorists are
I
doing
agree
terrorist
with you. We
things.
should definitely eliminate terrorists.
Okay, let's go to the next story here. Next story I'm going to go. I'd like to do two more before we wrap up. One is, I don't want to spend more than 4 minutes on this one, but I do want to give the update. Spotify cans Nick Fuentes' America First podcast for breaking hate speech rules, but has not banned him yet. Page 21. Rob, I'll read this. Is this Nick himself giving an update?
Yep, that's him yesterday or the day before talking about the ban.
Let me just read this and then we'll go to him. So Spotify said it has permanently removed white nationalist Nick Fuentes' America First podcast for violating its free hate speech rules, but the controversial figure is not banned from appearing on the platform altogether. The company responded to a post inquiry this week after several social media accounts circulated incorrect claims that Fuentes was completely banned from Spotify despite his show being among the highest 10 trending podcasts in 2020. We removed this show for repeated violations of our platform rules. A Spotify spokesperson told a Post on Wednesday, our policies are focused on content that violates our guidelines, not on creators themselves. Consequently, while the specific show and the attempts to re-upload it by multiple users are not permitted, the podcaster in question is not banned and still appears as a guest on other shows. Go ahead, Rob.
Hooray for problems says, fuck Spotify, am I right? Yeah, what's going on, man? I guess I was number one for like a day, but I didn't even start that channel. That's not even my channel. Someone else just started uploading my show.
Is that crazy?
I didn't even do it. Honest to God, it wasn't me. It wasn't even an intern. Some random guy just started uploading my show. It went number one immediately, and then they banned it. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive that you're like, wait, I'm number one. I didn't even know it. It's just, could you imagine that? You accidentally got number one because somebody's uploading your stuff. That is wild.
Yeah.
So what platforms is Nick even allowed on at this point? Is it X?
Rumble and
That's
X.
it.
I believe so.
Because my
I
TikTok
believe
got
so.
taken down simply because I posted a video having a conversation with Nick. So I know he's not even allowed anywhere near TikTok. I'm sure Tate is also in that category.
No,
is
Tate
he allowed on
just
Instagram?
got back his YouTube channel.
He did.
Yeah,
Well,
Tate just got
okay.
back his YouTube
4
channel.
years later.
And I think a couple other guys. Brian Rose also just got back his YouTube channel from London Real.
Okay.
And a few other guys got it. Yeah. But
So Nick is allowed on what platform?
Nick is allowed on, let me see here. Spotify, Swedish. From former Trump. Steve Bannon was apparently kicked out based on what Humberto was saying. Spotify removed conservative Graves with a few other people. Yeah. So I don't know, but I think a couple places Nick is still on. He's on X, he's on Truth Social, he's on Rumble. Those are the places he's on. He's not on YouTube, not on Twitch. His channel was terminated, not on a couple of these other guys. But we'll see. Listen, there's a young market of people that want to hear what he has to say. We'll see if he'll come back on Spotify and if they'll let him on or not.
He's not going to go away, guys. I mean, you could try to cancel people all you want. Sometimes when you try to cancel somebody, they only get bigger.
No. Let's be very clear about Spotify on this, right? It said the podcaster, Nick, in question is not banned and appears as a guest on other shows. They were concerned about a particular episode, something on it, but they went out of their way. Spotify said, hey, we've not banned Nick.
Spotify is fair. I'm not going to sit here and say anything about Spotify. I think they've been very fair.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been very fair. Okay, what's the last story I haven't done that I wanted to do? Boom, 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 boom. We hit that one. We hit this one. This is the last one I want to do and we'll wrap up. Bessent, Chinese vice premier, to meet with China to diffuse escalation of U.S. tariffs. Okay, so this is the meeting that they're talking about with Bessent. Trump calls 157% China tariffs not sustainable ahead of planned G meeting in South Korea. But yeah, so here's Trump first, and then we'll go to Bessent, Rob, if you want to do that. Do you have it?
I do. Here it is, 157% tariffs unsustainable.
Yeah, go for it.
If you put that 100% tariff on top of what's in place already, you've got 157% tariff on China. Can that stand?
No.
I mean, what is that going to do to the economy?
It's not sustainable, but that's what the number is. It's probably not, it could stand, but they forced me to do that. I think we're going to do fine with China. I get along great with him. He's a very strong leader, a very, amazing man. You look at what he's done and what he's, his life is an amazing story. It's a story for a great movie. I think we're going to be fine with China, but we have to have a fair deal. It's got to be fair. And
okay, go back to Bessent, Rob. Go back to Bessent.
China did a substantial, unprovoked escalation last week. We were unable to get in touch with them. Since then, it's been IMF World Bank Week. They have had working level people here who there have been meetings. The vice premier, who is my counterpart, and I will be speaking this evening at around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then he and I and a delegation will meet in Malaysia probably a week from tomorrow to prepare for the two presidents to meet. So I think that things have de-escalated. We hope that China will show the respect that we have shown them. And I am confident that President Trump, because of his relationship with President Xi, will be able to get things back on a good course.
Is the hope for that meeting with you and President Xi some kind of trade deal then? Or
could be.
More
Look, I think we're in a very strong position.
Tom, thoughts?
Well, I love this because once again, we have Witkoff in the Middle East, and now we have Bessent, which is very reliable team and maneuvering into a good position. And all the stuff that Trump said last week about what China was doing with rare earth minerals. By the way, that's what we're going to hear. Taiwan, chips, rare earth minerals. Those are the top of the list for the deal because that's going to help EVs around the world. That's going to help the U.S. and where we're at. And it's also going to turn down the heat. And so Trump has turned up the heat. And it isn't interesting. He doesn't mention anything about China's position. What does he say? I think Xi's had an amazing guys have had an amazing life. They can make a movie about it. Look at what he's accomplished. He didn't lose any negotiating points there. He is very skillfully preparing for his conversation while he's letting Bessent get ready to go to Malaysia to meet the counterparts. And there's one thing you know about China, they are very procedural and intentional. So, okay, you be procedural and intentional. Let's get together. Let's talk about these points. I'll see you in Malaysia, and we'll see where we can make it go. But what we saw from the reduced numbers in India, it's also happening in China. And they want to, even as they play the long game, they want some restoration here. And I think we're going to see some of it. Is it going to be a perfect deal in 10 minutes? No. But is it going to be progress? Yeah, I think so. And I think that the president and his lieutenants and the people in his cabinet are out there getting W's for the president. And the president deserves credit for those, for the team he's put in place, and then how he's going to finish these deals.
I think it's awesome, Pat, too. Like, I know we laughed a little bit. Like, you notice that's so freaking Trump, and you nailed it with the art of the deal. He's like, yeah, he's great. He's a good guy, even though he's freaking obviously a dictator and all that stuff. And he's like, could be in a movie. Because Tom, they're going to go to Xi and be like, hey, President Trump said that you could be a movie star. That you could be in a movie. And he's like, you mean like Jackie Chan, like movies? Like, think about it. Those are little points that you're talking about, Tom, that helps that negotiating. Like that's his style, right?
It's skillful. I think we're seeing the art of the deal. And China's going to be watching that and hearing that. And they'll have their own interpretation of it. But we're seeing a president with a capable cabinet out there getting W's and getting stuff done.
Adam.
Well, I'm not on the same page with what you guys mentioned regarding Trump's strategy here, because I believe that China is a completely different strategy than what you would have to bust out in the Middle East or in Russia, Ukraine. I mean, the Middle East, if you use that as an example, it's sort of like the machismo, the bravado actually works, where you can kind of play on people's emotions and sense of ego. You can use the tough guy thing with Putin because he responds to aggression and power. China's a completely different beast. There's long terms, they're strategic, they're pragmatic. I don't think that they're running on emotion. I think China is very logical, and they're willing to actually put their people, who they completely control, in a world of pain, because I think she's chairman for life. I don't think that they have as much of a incentive to move as Middle East or even as Putin. Regarding the minerals, I hear about the minerals. By the way, when we have research, the least sexy thing to do is look at rare earth minerals and cobalt and lithium, all that stuff. But to me, it all made sense, because if you go to what the periodic table of elements is, if you could show that, Rob, our whole concern is, all right, these are all the rare earths out there, all the elements. I was half asleep in biology and science class when I was learning about this, but this is what woke me up, that next image. The biggest concern is when all these elements are owned by China. That, to me, is a concern. And this image is very easily found on the internet, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, guys, if you want to know what China's doing, they're trying to control everything here. And a lot of this is important for our technology, for our defense, for our infrastructure. And if they can basically turn off the fuse, just like they're considering doing in Europe, that's very problematic. So this whole decoupling of China and ending this relationship, I don't see us decoupling. I don't see, hopefully, any military actions, but we're definitely in sort of a Cold War, if not the temperature being heat up right now. But this China,
Tom, you
Russia.
look like you want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. You said you disagreed with this, and I don't really hear disagreement. I don't think the strategy in China is the same. I didn't say that. I think the president's got great people that are in position that are lining up with the needs of certain negotiations. And China plays a long game, and you can't go in there the way you would with Putin.
Okay.
But I think we're getting W's and we're getting progress. Look at the progress on India. The numbers come out, and all of a sudden Modi's talking about who he is and isn't buying oil from. And the Indians, go look at chapter 1 back in March, April. They dug in on round 1. And now they seem to be back with moderating where they're buying oil. Well, and I think that's a W. And I love the fact that it doesn't only take Trump. I think he's leading it, but he's got great people that are out there getting the job done.
Well, I agree. I trust Trump's instincts. I trust Bessent. I trust these guys. I'm just simply saying that China's a different beast. And it's amazing that we can pivot to China at this point, get the Middle East nonsense out of the way, and completely pivot to China. And if we can somehow end the Russia-Ukraine war and then completely full attention to China, that's even better for America.
I think it's pretty telling that we have a president who's able to negotiate with very different people in very different ways and put the team in place to do it. And I love it.
You know, it's amazing sometimes when you have a very, very strong personality like the president does, you tend to attract the area where it's not necessarily your strength, but attract the same level of toughness or whatever approach that you have. Meaning, notice how gentle Bessent is, right? You notice how Bessent, how he is.
Smooth.
Yeah,
He's
very
chill.
smooth. Notice how Kushner is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you see
cool
how
as a
Kushner
cucumber.
is?
Yeah.
Notice how, a lot of these guys, how they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Their temperament. It's a very, very interesting place of where they are. And I think when it comes down to making tough deals, that's not the same with like Cash is energetic.
Bombastic, yeah.
It's not everybody that's like that. Howard Lutnick, massive personality. He's a doer himself. Howard probably sees himself as somebody that could be a president if he wanted to go there. He thinks very highly of himself.
New York banker.
He is. Yeah, it's exactly what he is. But I think with these sensitive deals like Qatar, Israel, you need the Kushners and Witkoff. China, you need somebody like a Bessent to go and do his part. And who's going with him? Who's going with, is it JD? Is it JD and Bessent going?
To where?
There was one not going, but that they're having a conversation.
I want to say yes. I read in one of the stories that JD will be with Bessent.
Yeah, I thought so as well. So temperament matters the bigger the deals are, and it looks like they're making progress. All I know is when the China announcement is made, imagine how the market's going to respond that day. When the announcement is made, Tom, how do you think the market will respond? 1% day, 3% day, 5% day? What do you think the market does?
Depending on what has happened, if the previous day was like a little bit down, you could have a 3.5%.
I agree.
Day.
That's what I think.
But I think you're going to have a 1.5. I'll put my handicap on 1.5 to 2% day if there is a strong announcement about
that's a sudden announcement. If it's an announcement of it's coming, staggering, like for 3 weeks, then it's going to be 0.2%, 0.8%, 0.6%. But if it's a sudden one day, It could be a 1.5 to 3.5
We've come
announcement.
to a deal on the following 3 things.
Yep, exactly. Gang, great to be with y'all. If you haven't yet registered for the business planning workshop, commit to it. I do know it's a few weeks away. Commit to it. Get yourself a spot. Bring your team, your family, your kids, your spouse, your business partners. Yeah. Let's spend a day together. Go to bpw.davidconsulting.com to register for the business planning workshop. We're going to put the link below as well. Cannot wait to see all of you there. God bless everybody. We will do it again on Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.